Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Wisconsin. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
I'm Doug Russell. The Brewers are off on Monday. They'll open up a series at Detroit tonight. Moving on to basketball, a nail-biter in New York.
And he missed both. Hart with a rebound. No timeout called. Get it up for Bridges. Put it up for the win. And he missed it. Atlanta comes all the way back from 14 down and ties the series. They win game 2 in MSG, 107-106.
The Hawks edging the Knicks 107-106 to square up that series at a game apiece. Elsewhere, the Cavaliers take a 2-0 series lead over the Raptors, Cleveland winning 115-105. Minnesota pulls off the upset at Denver, the Timberwolves beating the Nuggets 119-114. Also from the NBA, the Bucks have reportedly met with former assistant and former Memphis Grizzlies head coach Taylor Jenkins about their head coaching vacancy. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the board y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Six says we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
All aboard. Let's join in the Huddle. Tuesday edition coming to you from headquarters. Drew Olson, Bill Schmid, Armen Sarian with you for the ride today. Welcome in 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. It's a buy or sell Tuesday, and we welcome you in. Boys, getting the first percolations of a new Bucks coach, perhaps.
Some speculation, some ideas, maybe a meetup and a conversation to see if an old friend can be the rekindling of that flame here in Milwaukee, right. It sounds like.
Taylor Jenkins got a visit from John Horst and Wes Edens and Jimmy Haslam.
Yeah, and fitting for Buy or Sell Tuesday.
In Memphis.
The line was they had registered serious interest.
Registered.
Yes, and Taylor Jenkins. That was in the Eric Name
now,
piece, I think.
I know they're going to do their due diligence. They just, they've been through a couple coaching searches in the not too distant past.
That's for sure. They've got experience.
So the candidates, they're well known to them, right? So, I mean, how much due diligence do you have to do?
That's fair. The other thing is, guys, and I found myself struggling with this. Now, Quinn Snyder, congrats to his Atlanta Hawks last night. Well, that's a hell of a
shocked
win.
the Garden.
And that's a steal of a fourth quarter that they had. But maybe it was when I was watching the Color Wheel Spurs Trailblazers game the other night. And as the introductions of the starting lineup, our old friend Drew Holiday walks out there. Victor Wembanyama, the place goes absolutely bonkers for. And then I'm looking at Tiago Splitter as the acting head coach. Had a little bit of a moment there where I forgot why their regular head coach wasn't there.
Yeah,
almost forgot that Chauncey Billups thing feels like it was a few years ago.
Yeah,
but
they lose. Oh yeah, that's right. It was Chauncey, and he caught the case.
There we go. That's what it was. They're losing like the guys in the poker game.
Literally by herself.
And then Mitch Johnson, I believe, rather unfamiliar with his game. Sure. Right. Spurs coach. They're the number 2 seed, right? Like you start seeing it, Drew, that the names and different guys that a lot of people have thought of for a long time, and the belief that you got to have a veteran or you got to have a young. I don't really know what you have to have. You just have to have the right group of guys and ultimately the right players to just listen to a guy like David Adelman's kid, who is now, or Rick Adelman's kid, David, who's now coaching the Nuggets. Right. You could pick him out of a lineup and now his team's one of the better ones in the ball.
Because they thought they could do better than Mike Malone, who's now obviously with North Carolina. And, hey, the best coach in ball is maybe Mark Daigneault, right? I mean, another guy that was sort of anonymous to most people for a while. So it is kind of the era of those anonymous names.
JB Bickerstaff doing good work in Detroit. And where did he go? He'd been in Memphis before, and where else would he? Cleveland?
I believe Cleveland was his spot before that too. Yep.
Yeah. So Taylor Jenkins was here under Bud and could be the guy. Don't know his relationship with Ja. Probably not great.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a little bit better. Definitely better than the new coach.
Exactly.
Definitely better than the new coach there in Memphis.
And
but I think it was
okay. Ja would be a fit in Milwaukee anyway. But so Taylor Jenkins was at the top of the list of potentials, I think. Him, Sean Sweeney, who worked very closely with Giannis for years. There's a couple names. Sweeney's in San Antonio too, right?
Yeah, and those two names, Drew, though, they immediately jumped out to me as names that you're bringing back, not only because they're the first ones that you're going to think of, they a couple that were in the building, but also as potential candidates to maybe sway Giannis to be thinking differently. Immediately felt like thought of, hey, let's grab somebody that he at least knows, and if we're going to get one last Hail Mary caught on October 1st and him to sign the 5-year, $275 million Supermax extension, this is part of the reason. This is part of the route that we're running.
Guy. So that was interesting. And then Giannis also made his, kind of annual, let's get ready to grind in the offseason post.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
And people immediately putting him in the valley because as a phoenix, I will rise.
Take it any way they want. Yeah, take it any way they want to. Right.
Yeah. Well, wasn't that just wild? But the thing about the coaches is, yes, like if you're going to, I said it the other day, what job is it? If you have Giannis, we're trying to win a title today. If you don't have Giannis, well, we're trying to win a title in 3 years.
Yeah, in three to 5
changes the parameters. Right?
Yeah, and just like it changed the job for Adrian Griffin when you brought in Dame Lillard 3 days before their first camp.
And you know who might be available in this coaching cycle? Steve Kerr. After losing to Phoenix and not making the playoffs, it looks like that may have run its course. Now, because I think they're at odds, and he even said he's been dropping hints, sometimes it gets stale, I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
He seems ready to go.
And it seems like it. But Steph and Draymond both have like one more year left, and they're not like about, a farewell tour. If they want to hire, they want him to be a 5-year commitment, and he's like, I don't know. There might be something there, but if you could get Steve Kerr, you think Giannis might have attention?
Now that would be a fascinating one, and I think he absolutely would be attentive if that was the case.
I mean, to me, Steve Kerr remains a really, really great coach.
Remains a great coach, and it also depends on how much. And if you are thinking that you're going to have Giannis and you're going to try to win, I know it was an internet rumor that was floating around that teams are starting to sniff around that somebody is going to potentially jump from college. If indeed Hurley would ever leave UConn, you would think now would be the time. Now, I think he would still want to go to the Nets or the Knicks before he tried to go anywhere else outside of the Northeast. But you take a huge swing again if you believe that you can keep Giannis. And that would be the only thing I would think would potentially bring him back, because it feels like a full disconnect, right? Feels like he is so set in the ways of, I don't know, and I guess I don't trust the new people that are around me. Not saying that he's Drake, the newest Packers fan, that the internet was very, very excited about that.
That might cook us, yeah.
But Giannis might just be saying, no new friends. I don't need anybody else. I had all my good friends that I had in the Bucks organization. They're all gone. I don't know that I'm ready to, and I want to be joining up with all of these guys. But if a guy that has 7 titles around, 9 titles around, if you can count his time as an executive, as a coach, and as a player, Steve Kerr would maybe change the conversation a little bit.
Yeah, I still don't know if that's, obviously it's not likely.
Draymond basically said it was over last night on his podcast, though. So
he did. I don't know. We'll see about that one. I mean, anything's possible, but the no new friends thing is interesting, Billy. Like, how does Giannis feel about that? Does he want kind of that old feeling back? It seems like that side of him is always pulled to missing the old guys and not being comfortable with the change. So you get a Taylor Jenkins, and maybe the last vestige of the old guys is the one guy still is John Horst. Maybe that's the one guy he would still say, I still, you built everything from the ground up. We were both here together. I still trust you. Are you making this hire? And is this your hire and not like, the Jimmy Haslam, Doc Rivers, like Brain Trust, or, who is this? Is this Wes Edens and John Horst? I wonder how that whole dynamic plays into it. But I think that's going to be the main factor. As you said, Drew, are you going to have Giannis or not? And I think the coach that is okay with that either way, or says to the Bucks, look, I need to have a deal that prepares me either way for a short window, a sprint to the title, trying to build around a veteran, or rebuild this thing from the ground up. That's the interesting part of this whole.
Here's Giannis's post was, this has been one of the toughest seasons of my career, but as they say, like a phoenix from the ashes, I'll rise. That made people in the Valley think he's going to Phoenix, which it's just a saying, people.
Yeah,
Pump the brakes.
I was going to say a great saying.
He said to the city of Milwaukee, my, all caps, city, thank you for the unwavering love and support. Now, people are saying, is that a farewell message?
That's the first thing I knew people could.
He has said stuff like this in the past.
It's just like, thank you, I'm gone, or thank you forever, I'm affirming you as my place.
Exactly.
There's a million ways.
So
you
it's
can
cryptic
take that
as
text.
always
when
with Giannis.
When she
right?
sends that
Shocker.
text, it's the way you can take it, right?
Yeah, shocker. It's cryptic and has you leaving more questions than answers. But I do also think that for him, that's a rather normal anonymous post. I think if there was anything that would lead me to thinking that he was ready to say goodbye, it would be showing up at his brother's store in an everything must go sale, potentially before you all get back up onto and taking pictures and signing autographs. That to me would signal a flare more than him posting,
that's true,
thank you to my city for the unwavering support.
So we don't know which way that's going to go. Again, there is there's a couple 100 million reasons why he might stay. There's a lot of reasons he might go. We just can't read the tea leaves yet.
It's tough. Right away, though, last night, and how I've been starting to watch the early days of the NBA playoffs, man, the Hawks go in there and upset the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
They're going to move heaven and earth to be trying to make a move for this guy.
The Knicks are going to be tired of coming up short. And I agree with you, Billy, of just unfulfilled potential in that city. They're going to be tired of it, and that might be the key to this whole deal. If a team like the Knicks, right, does lose to the Hawks, or even late, next round, let's say they beat the Hawks, they're going to be desperate to try and make a move like that.
Does make you wonder how many moves could have been made differently. Like CJ McCollum, he goes off for 32 last night, helps the Hawks get a win. I feel like McCollum's been perpetually available over the last 4 or 5 years.
One of those guys traded around a lot.
Bounced around all over the place. I believe last year he either was in Washington when the Bucks made the trade with Kuzma and Middleton, or just had gotten traded to Washington. However, he was in New Orleans, just like hand raised in air, like, hey, please, somebody come get me. Somebody get me out of here. And then off the bench, there's Jonathan Kuminga with 19 last night. And Drew, the Warriors couldn't get rid of him like the reduced fat or the reduced priced bakery that Armen's going to go shop for at the grocery store that they're just trying to give away.
Glazers in today. That's not reduced price.
No.
Hey, let's go.
That's the real thing right there. I didn't go for the discount section.
He's trying to help us hit the sinker today by making us eat the sinker.
Look at you getting up early, getting out there.
It's a long way to work.
Early, it took the long way to work. Had to get gas, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna slide in and get some Glazers for the boys.
Okay,
but
yeah, you're right. Kaminga was that guy, though, man. Just anyone and anyone
But
that could.
They were trying to trade him for 2 years, and now all of a sudden he's up on a team that's in the playoffs and he's helping out.
my thing with the Bucks coach is, if you're going to go get this guy, target him, get him quick, get him off the market before stuff starts to shuffle. But might want to see if Steve Kerr wanted to drop by.
Yeah, that's the tough thing.
Pretty good, but
because acting guys, the dudes with jobs right now, nobody jumps off the page. Nobody likes Steve Kerr. Nobody would possibly have the credentials like that. But otherwise, it does come to, I'm with you, Drew, get your guy, get him early, and start to try to figure out what kind of job he has. Yeah. Does he have the job with Giannis?
Yeah.
Or does he have a job that is going to be
there you go,
Ryan Rollins, Usman Chang, and company?
Or can he be part of that decision?
I was going to say, can a coach sway Giannis?
Right. Maybe he's the one, a guy that he's connected to. Only he knows, Giannis, how he feels about that. But if Taylor's your guy, identify him and just get him.
Because you might be in competition with Orlando.
Sure.
Could be. Yeah, no doubt. Jenkins has been available now for a couple of years, right? A year and a half he's been on the market. So at least last hiring cycle, but his name was probably a little bit dinged last year. Hard to get a job right after there. But there's a possibility. I also think, Drew, and this is where Armen and I had kind of differed over a while. As the Bucks, I wonder if they're kind of sick of having to lose 20 pounds, right? Or having to get a haircut, having to change their outfit. If it clearly they're going to take one more chance and one more shift, maybe get a nose ring, right? Maybe do something to try to spice up the relationship and show him, hey man, I'm still the fun one over here. Because if he does have 1 foot out, I don't think it matters who the coach is. But if he wants it to sway him, if he's open to still being wooed and swayed, I think the coach would be the only hire that you could bring in that would ultimately move the needle for him.
You were right, Billy. Last year was March 28th. So the Grizzlies fired him with 9 games remaining last year. So right before the playoffs, basically.
Yeah, so he's only set out one season.
Yeah, only one season.
And that was a really short kind of situation,
and
obviously.
Let's face it, and it goes to, again, Bucks have to move quickly, because if Giannis leaves, this is down the pecking order of available jobs. Yeah,
becomes a worse job.
There's only a handful of them open every year. If you want to coach, you better grab it. And it's not a bad lifestyle. Even coaching a bad team isn't the worst thing in the world.
No, could be a lot worse. For a guy like Jenkins, though, Drew, or like Sean Sweeney, who would be having his first head coaching job, would it be almost more advantageous for one of them to have the team without Giannis, where they can grow in the role and kind of get more of their fingerprints on it?
Well, interesting, because you look at the landscape. Where had Craig Counsell managed before he became a manager? Like Mike Matheny had some success, had never managed. Like in baseball, they started to do that, I think, first, where let's get a guy who knows ball and like get him in there. It doesn't matter that he's never coached a minor league game, right? NBA, who knew that Joe Mazzulla could coach?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
JJ Redick slapped him in, right?
JJ
Redick. There's guys like around the league now. It's become the custom. The one place, like, I guess there was the experiment with Jeff Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But is there anywhere in the football and the NFL or anything where you're just going to slap a guy up there who hasn't coached? Is it?
Good point. I can't think of one.
Why is the NFL different? Because it seems like as the other sports evolve, they have realized that smart people can step into that job and figure it out, as opposed to, well, you got to pay your dues and you got to
Aaron Boone.
A-ball.
Aaron Boone went right off baseball tonight and started managing the Yankees. Saturday's the only guy that took the swing, is the only guy that I think got the opportunity, and luckily it was because of Jim Irsay at the time. Rivers and Josh McCown were like the only guys that I think have been kind of bantered about. Like McCown was a backup for 20 years, and then immediately people were like, he could probably call plays. But even Rivers, then, they threw him as a quarterback coach.
And Rivers has been talked about. That was the rumor that he might be the one to do
it. Reportedly got a head coaching interview this year with, I'm definitely blanking on the team that he had interviewed with earlier this year. But so there's very, very little bits of it. But that is just true because of the old school hardo, you need to pay your dues football guy mantras that they've had for far too long, where I think it could be kind of antiquated, that you absolutely could have somebody that immediately gives a different perspective of somebody that's been in a building for 19 hours a day for the last 20 years.
Funny thing is, the only guy I can think of historically was Bart Starr. I mean, Bart was a quarterback's coach for 1 year, but basically played and went
Played
right
and then
into
came to
and that's
better, yeah.
obviously a unique situation with an icon of an iconic franchise and playing.
Yeah.
But that's the only one I can really think of, and that makes results. So
if Taylor Jenkins accepts the job like by the end of the week, right? He's got another meeting scheduled or something. I met with him last week. The Eric Name and Sam Amick put it out. If he accepts the job and they get their coach, does that make you think Giannis is more likely to stay or less likely to stay? Because would Taylor Jenkins jump in to the Bucks job, knowing that there's going to be other jobs available in the cycle and snapping up early? It makes sense if the Bucks want him. Let's face it, he's a top tier candidate right now. He's highly regarded. He's like probably the best guy available.
He's the best
which is what they
out
got
there right
when they
now.
got Budenholzer was the best guy on the market, and the Bucks got him because of Giannis. Now,
well, he has ties to the team too. I mean, that's
that's what I'm saying. But if Jenkins gets this job, would you take it if you knew Giannis was leaving, or would you want to have a conversation with Giannis before you took the job? Probably.
Well, that's where I think he's definitely going to have the conversation here. However, I don't think it keeps him from accepting it. Like I think he's taking it regardless. He would much rather be coaching it with Giannis.
Yeah, but
I think he's
Milwaukee, so he knows the charms of our city. But I'm just saying, take that Orlando job. You're not paying state income tax. You got better weather. You're golfing after practice. Like what?
Does he have a site set? Does he have a site set anywhere else? And does he believe other?
And that's why the Bucks have to act with urgency, because if they do want him, and why wait for other jobs to open up? Because somebody's going to get greased after a first round playoff exit.
Oh, for sure. And
it happens.
And it could be Mike Brown. I mean, especially if the Hawks come out and stun this thing. Dolan just fired Tom Thibodeau after they went to the conference finals. So very much could be. To me, it moves it from like a 5 to a 7% chance he's back.
Really?
Or like a 3 to 6% chance he's back. Yeah. Definitely moves it a little bit.
Okay.
But I think it's still so small. I think his mind's made up that he wants to go play somewhere else. And I don't know that there's anything you're going to be able to change it with whoever you end up hiring.
Fascinating stuff. That was our that's the jump off the page news, is that the Bucks are
big time
heading for, moving ahead with their search, which is good. They should be. And that Giannis posted that what he did, and being cryptic as always, and we parse it the way we did with Favre and Rodgers and with all our stars that are on their way out of the town.
And I'm just excited for now. Giannis gets to be the Instagram guy, right?
Yeah.
Everything you put on Instagram, he takes anything off of Instagram and you start wondering.
Does he scrub all his Bucks content? Remember, he did that every year.
Well, she's done that in the past.
He
That's
has.
funny. I remember when Kobe passed, he did the same thing. It's just what he does. So that never bothered me too much. But yeah, he is going to be at everything Instagram is going to be analyzed now. And
by the way, remember when Taylor Jenkins was here with Coach Bud and they called him the Hold'em coach? He was holding him back.
Just always holding him off the court.
That was the guy.
It's great to have a legacy like that. And then you become the man. You never know. You never know how life works out.
You can reach out to us, 877-794-1973. We'll be doing some buying and selling very soon. We're glad you're up early with us. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddled up on a Tuesday. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. Armen scratching itches now that he's back behind the board for the second day in a row.
Yeah, and I felt like I had to play some Drake just because apparently he's a Packers fan now, and I don't think that's good news necessarily because whatever Drake has touched has not turned to gold recently, but Drake was wearing the Packers coat. Now, that could be someone in the crew, Billy.
It might just been his jacket that it was the best jacket he ever had.
And it could have been cold during the video shoot. Someone in the crew had a pack because we know about Packers jackets. There's nothing more ubiquitous in the world in the last 30 years than Packers jackets. They're everywhere. Everybody in the state had one.
He just dropped a ubiquitous on us, Billy, and it's National Big Word Day.
Come on now.
Which is Armen Sarian's favorite day of the year. Ours is 420.
Oh, I had no clue.
Shout out to our pals at happyplacehemp.com for
they got to move those around.
The 42% off with the code Huddle yesterday.
Well, I'm going to be feeling quite pugnacious as the day goes
So hold on.
Pugnacious.
So they're gonna put National THC Celebration Day right in front of Big Words Day.
Well, because
the idea is you burn and think of all of the big words you're going to use the next day.
You've been sitting there, Billy, burning, looking through the dictionary for 20 hours, right?
I love that. Yeah. They're like, wait, this guy thought he was reading a book. He's just been reading a thesaurus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Now he's ready for National Big Word Day.
And we haven't quite launched full into Buy or Sell Tuesday yet, but there was sort of not a big word, but a word issue that has been haunting me since fourth grade that I was going to bring up for Buy or Sell Tuesday. And I don't know if I should wait or just do it.
Go ahead and do it. Jump the route.
Buy or Sell Tuesday.
Did he just say a big word problem?
It's not like a word. It was an issue with a word, but not a big word. Buy or Sell Tuesday. I was robbed in fourth grade at the Edgewood Elementary spelling bee. I was absolutely robbed in fourth grade. Edgewood Elementary, I'm in the Final Four, the spelling bee. I'm feeling pretty confident. I know more than any of these kids. Basically, I knew I was.
Because spelling your name as a child gave you a leg up.
I was going to say a pretty good head start.
This is Greenfield School District, a good one, but not like, So I'm
not as good as the West Side School.
Okay, you had to say it, and that's fine.
Whitnall.
All right.
Sorry, you just left it right there.
Walked in there.
The Whitnall Greenfield fight, the beef is real.
Yeah, you learn more on the right side of Layton.
Some might claim. But anyway, walked in there like Larry Bird in the 86 3-point contest. Which one of you guys is finishing second? Like, I felt good. So the word's alibi. I'm going to make this story quick. Buy or sell, was I robbed?
UGLY.
Word is alibi. Yeah, it's a good one. So the directions to all of us, you walk up to the mic, you spell the word, you look to your left to see if you are correct by the judges. ALIBI. But I said ALIBI. And I realized it was off mic. I'm like, they might not have heard, so I said BI. I repeated it. Long discussion.
You spelled the word wrong.
Judges said, technically, Armen, you didn't spell the word right. Even though everyone in that building knew I knew the word. I just repeated it so the judges could hear. Was I robbed?
Yes.
No, you spelled the word wrong into the microphone.
I thought this would be controversial. Interesting. Technically, I did spell the word wrong.
Yeah.
I said ALIBIBI. Bill and Drew, you thought I was robbed?
I think you got robbed.
See, I appreciate that.
It's like off mic, the judges, how far away are they? And exactly how loud was the stadium full of people watching?
Yeah. It's a raucous crowd there in the natatorium.
How big was the applause when people realized that you spelled it right?
The Edgewood Elementary School gym was absolutely packed.
Was it buzzing?
I don't know. It felt like it. Well, everyone got out of class. It was like an assembly type of thing.
Was this the first of the Armen Sarian freakouts, though? Did you go full Armen and say, what do you mean I didn't spell the word right? I knew it. I knew it. You just heard me say I know the word. I know the word. I just spelled it ABLIE. I said it off the mic, and that's why I said it over here. You know that I know the word right. You know that I know how to spell the word. Why are you not listening to me? Was that like the first of those?
Didn't freak. I got the chance to state my case to the judges. They said technically you spelled it wrong. I took it like a G. I sat down.
Start crying.
Frustrated. Think I'd probably had a couple tears in there because I really wanted to win that one. And, don't worry. It's like if Dan Jansen never would have won that race, everyone knows you're still the best sprinter in the world, man. You know what I mean? Everyone knows Dan. But he got the gold, and so he affirmed it. I never affirmed it. You know what I mean? So that was tough. That was tough for me. So buy or sell on.
So is that why you got into radio, to be able to prove that you know big words and that you can spell them, just to verify and write that wrong here at 5:31 on a Tuesday morning?
Would love to say that, but it's not true. That's not the reason.
Dang.
But that would be
great.
great.
A long-term play, Drew. That would have been a get back at those judges that they had no idea.
So you were wronged in fourth grade, and it's not like it's gnawed at you all these years.
No, not like it. Yeah, but I guess not a big word.
I took a lot of. Here's one for you. Like 2 2 years older than that. This happened to me on the athletic court. 6th grade, playing a game Thomas Jefferson against Ben Franklin, rivals.
Mm-hmm. What a couple great names for schools.
Great names for schools, right? For competitors.
Yeah.
So we're playing them, and coach had this thing where you either played the first half or the second half for our squad. And so I started the second half. The opening tip comes to my direction, and I get it, and I cross midcourt, and I go coast to coast and lay the ball in for a layup.
Awesome.
Scored within my first 10 seconds of play.
Buckets.
But then
send a message.
The zit-faced high school refs reffing a 6th grade basketball game realized that, we just started the second half and we forgot to have you change sides.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
So they said that I scored a basket for the other team.
Whoa. Not because of your user error.
Yeah. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You had us, this was a jump ball to start the half at center court, and you had us lined up wrong. So we're penalized for your screw up. And there's an actual rule in basketball, which these guys did not know. But Rule 454, if by mistake the officials point a team going the wrong direction when discovered, all points scored, fouls committed, and time consumed shall count as if each team had gone in the proper direction.
This
I
happened.
should have said bucket, and then we switch up. I got robbed, and I was, I knew I had been wrong, and I was like, I should have gotten a tech. I should have probably been ejected because I'm 6th grade, and these guys are high school, and they could have stuffed me in a locker. But I was politicking and lawyer, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be better than this. We look forward to this game all season.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
This is what we're getting showed up with.
This is bogus. And I ended up being, I took so much grief from my teammates.
Sure, of course.
For a long time. Like, I was the leading scorer for the other team.
So but then you also righted the wrong and dropped 20 probably in the second half and won the game.
Probably. Yeah. Probably not.
This happened to a Marquette.
I was pissed.
Marquette UConn in 2013. This happened in the Big East opener. I was at the game in the Bradley Center, and it was they faced the wrong baskets for overtime. UConn had started with a goaltend, so they would have gotten 2 points, but they took it away. They nullified it because it was going toward the wrong basket. I remember UConn fans were upset about it, and Marquette won that game in overtime. I was happy about it.
Oh wow!
But that happened. In that
super
game.
Impactful.
Yeah.
That's there was a Drew. I was a CYM basketball player in the high school church league the whatever Sunday school they were playing
in the Padre Sarah tournament.
Yeah, so I think it was our sophomore or junior year. Now I was still a pear-shaped teenager at this point, so there were limitations athletically that I had, right, and quite significantly. So we're playing in a Saturday 10 a.m. game, right? So same deal. College refs definitely waking up rather hungover and coming out to sweat out the booze. We're in the layup lines. Your boy's trying to show off. There may or may not have been 1 to 2 girls there. Had to make sure that you were able to show that you do have some kind of marginal athleticism. So your boy is slapping glass.
All right.
Every layup, boop, boop, right in there. Lay it up, tap that glass, tap that backboard. Just to showcase, hey, boy got up. It might have been 1 full phone book I jumped over at that particular point. Well, really try to spice it up. Why don't we see if we can grab the net? No, we're not grabbing the rim. But what if I can just get a little bit of that back orange pipe where it starts dripping down a tick?
Uh-oh. Did they throw the letter on you? Did they throw it on you?
Well, I missed. I can't touch the rim. I can't touch the rim. I would love to touch the rim. I can't. Yeah. I'm fat. All right? I understand the problem. Everybody in here knows the situation. Yeah. Yes. Zach Randolph game is a perfect way of explaining how I was in CYM basketball. And this old boy comes up after layup lines and goes, hey, sir, just so you know, 35 can't play.
Can't play?
Can't play? What do you mean?
Play.
He's been ejected.
Oh, my gosh. They ejected you?
For grabbing and taunting on the rim.
So
and I walk out, I'm like, brother, I really appreciate your belief in me. I know for damn sure I didn't touch that rim because I can't get up that high.
How did they eject you for that in layup lines?
Because in the Parkview Parochial, whatever CYM rule book, thou shalt not use the Lord's name in vain was number 1. Thou shalt not touch the rim and taunt the other team was number 2, apparently.
That was the 11th commandment.
Not only did your boy get
in the overtime testament
kicked out for that game.
Overtime testament.
Not only did I get kicked out for that game, I had to serve a 1-game suspension for the
on.
next game.
That is a joke. How old were you?
I was like a junior in high school.
At least it wasn't third grade or something, but that's still
Good
silly.
God, y'all.
So, yeah. So I enjoy that we picked up this scab because you know what? I was wronged by whatever individual that is right there. I imagine there's a lot of good losses through their youth or through sporting youth.
Oh, yeah.
And beyond that folks have on the talking text line at 877-794-1973.
Dump your bucket. Big
Dump your
word.
bucket.
It's National
Let's
Big
go.
Word Day.
You were wrong.
National Big Word Day, and I was reminded because Armen dropped a ubiquitous on us.
Wow, that is so good.
Brett, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Do you have a number of other ones holstered up for us here today that we can be excited for?
Indubitably, he does.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be right if they didn't come on organically and naturally. They have to come naturally. You know?
Yeah, well, they have
Sure,
to
you got to come naturally.
I can't just dive
you
into
can't
a
rush
bag
that.
and just start throwing them out there. Just ridiculous.
Can't rush
that
it.
would be ridiculous. That would be absurd. I'm not doing that.
That would be absurd.
That'd be
ridiculous.
Absurd. Red Hot Tim Knott. They told Armen the word was wrong, and he took that personally.
Personally, Ali.
Yeah,
Alibi.
that's how I spelled it. Yeah.
Alibi.
I knew that word.
Great
too.
name for a bar, the Alibi.
I was like,
it is a good name.
I'm getting past this word. I've got glory in my head. I was just thinking about all the girls I was going to get in 4th grade because I won the spelling bee. I did. I started to see shiny objects, guys, and that's what happened to me. So tough one.
877-794-1973. We'll get to the buying and selling portion of the program. We got to talk some draft today because it's getting ever closer, Billy.
You better believe it. We're just a couple of days away, and the big talk was, why is Fernando Mendoza not going to Pittsburgh? Instead, there's another quarterback apparently not in Pittsburgh that people had more of a conversation about yesterday.
Whoa, we're going to talk about that as we move forward. Our draft coverage this week brought to us by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Woo! Billy and Wayne Larrivee will be chopping it up Thursday night. Friday will be an online show because of the Admirals playoff.
And 1070 in Madison.
Yes.
So we'll be on 1070 in Madison all 3 days. As you mentioned, 920 on Thursday and Saturday, 7 to 10 on night 1, 6 to 11. We're going for a wide high 5 hours there on Friday night because the Packers have potentially 3 picks.
That's
and then
right.
Saturday, all the sickos will be hanging out with us coming up on Saturday because that's really when it's for the grind.
Even with nothing to really pay attention to, because I don't think the Packers are going to trade into the first round in this draft. So I don't think there's really enough depth of talent for them to make that amenable. But even in this case, I'm interested to see how the first round goes because there's got to be drama somewhere in the draft. There's no Shedeur Sanders falling to the 5th round, but there's going to be drama. And then the quicker picks will be interesting to watch. So the pacing of the first round will fascinate me.
I'm a big fan of the pacing. Big fan of the pacing. Wayne Larrivee and I put our heads together, put our notes together, grabbed a sandwich and an unsweetened iced tea yesterday.
Yeah.
And solved a lot of the draft problems.
All right.
I want to be on a fly on the wall for the
baby.
Wayne and Billy prep
No
lunch.
doubt. No doubt.
You could have been one of the 6 kids right behind screaming throughout the entire thing.
We will discuss in more depth as we move ahead. It is the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. The Huddle rolls along on a Tuesday in the good land. Drew Billy and Armen still getting his bearings behind the board.
I'm sorry about that.
You know what? I'll take the blame there. I will take the blame there.
Having a coffee clutch, were you?
We were having too much fun at the coffee pot. The thing is, when Dolph comes in here for the halftime report today, I need him to put me on game.
Yeah.
Because Drew, your boy's going through a little bit of a morning routine shift.
Well, I know you got the glasses on. You're not contacted up yet.
I saw you eat a banana.
Dude, my allergies are just going off the rails right now.
Boy.
So we're trying to do some things. We're trying to change some things up. But now I'm on Dolph's coffee game. So I have been drinking more of the station coffee, and I'm never going to take away say no to free coffee.
Well, yeah, that's been one of my rants forever. Is why do coffee drinkers get their habit subsidized and I have to pay for soda?
I was going to say. 99 cents, excuse me.
That's why
$1.04 now.
Yeah, bogus. And why do smokers get an extra week of vacation that we don't get when they're standing outside chuffing?
Yep. That doesn't happen anymore, though, do they?
There's still people that do.
Yeah, you still get some.
See the butts outside?
People still smoke. I'm like, do people actually, quote unquote, get a smoke break, though? Like,
take one?
You just take one. You just walk out there. Just enjoy it.
I do that, too. I don't smoke. But, yeah, I get your point.
Well, if you want to, we'll help out. But so I'm... When Dolph comes in here halftime, he makes by far the best free coffee in the building.
All right.
Nobody is able to touch his concoction in there because it might not be the highest grade of brew and of grounds that we're getting here at the radio station, right? So he mixes it just right. I'm trying to have him put me on game because I was back there cooking it up. I was back there maybe a little dash of cinnamon. Maybe that will work. Maybe a little spice here. Maybe a little tick of decaf on top of this, right? Maybe a little flavor profile. And Armen was just enjoying it. So I apologize. I'm the one. I kept him too of a captive audience into my coffee
late
conversation.
Coming back from break because of the coffee.
You know what? I have to blame myself. I have to take accountability here. Look at myself in the mirror here. I didn't have to chop it up with you, Billy. I could have been more aware of what was going on.
Coffee is for closers. Put that coffee down, Sarian.
Yeah. I have a mental clock.
I'm far too entertaining for you to just walk away from like that.
Yeah.
So all right.
I have a mental clock in my years of radio that rarely fails me, that I usually have just an instinct for how much time's left in the break. And today,
it is funny because when you do work in our jobs and you know how long breaks are, when you are watching a show, a network show or a news show or even a sporting event, and they go to commercial break, all right, I have enough time to go to the bathroom and put move the clothes from the washing machine to the dryer, and I have it, and then settle back in, and you do get back in time usually.
Yeah, and that's where I do appreciate some streamers putting up how much time is left in the break. Oh, sweet, 3 minutes and 27 seconds. I got that pretty dialed up.
Yeah,
I'll have that one locked in.
I should add that. Yeah.
Yes. Well, Armen, be better. Don't do your best. Do our best.
We're
expecting
2 more hours to go here. So
yes. 877-794-1973. NicoletLaw.com. Talk and text line away in on a buy or sell Tuesday. And we're firing it up early. Armen broke the seal. You buying or selling that? I think Ben Johnson's arrival in Chicago may have, it, and the Bears' recent kind of resurgence has circumvented what could have been the sparks of, I don't want to say rejuvenating or deepening the Wisconsin-Michigan rivalry. Because the Brewers are getting ready to play the Tigers, and someone asked me, are the Tigers, did they used to be a rival in the American League days? I'm like, they were just there.
You're kind of there, passing.
It wasn't like you appreciated back when they had, Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker. And yeah, they played some competitive games, but there wasn't like a lot of animus that I'm aware of on that side of the lake. Whereas, maybe it's a UP thing. The DMZ is the UP, but we kind of like tolerate Michigan. Like, is anybody really mad at Michigan? The Badgers for years, basketball was Michigan State, and football, we hated Michigan just because they were all mighty blue and they would roll in and beat the Badgers 54-0 every year. But I don't sense a long, deep hatred between Wisconsin and Michigan.
No, and it's one of the reasons why, Drew, I think you saw Packers fans almost like downright cheering for the Lions to make the Super Bowl a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Right. There's almost like a little, like a sibling rivalry, not even rivalry, just a sibling enjoyment in seeing some satisfaction, seeing the little brother have some success. But now they got real chesty, especially Detroit Lions fans, gotten real chesty in their 3 years of relevance.
Even when the Pistons were good, and Armen backed me up on this, the bad boy era and stuff. And like, if you're a Bucks fan, you didn't have them in the same compartment in the same basket as the Celtics and the 76ers.
I was just funny you say that because I was racking my brain trying to think of any kind of tenuous moments between the Bucks Pistons or even Brewers Tigers. Don't remember any fights. Bucks Pistons, not even then. I think part of it was because the Bucks had kind of exited their 80s dominance by the time the Pistons were champions. At that time, it was like the Jay Humphries, Alvin Robertson Bucks. There was no more like championship contender Bucks in like 90, 91, or 89. So I don't think so. I do remember one time going to a Bucks Pistons game and the whole crowd at the Bradley Center was yelling Stackhouse sucks at Jerry Stackhouse. There was a little bit of business for him there, but even back then it was like Grant Hill was going to be the next guy to take over, and everyone loved Grant Hill. You know, he was like the America's boy, you know, so it was like everyone loved Grant Hill. So I don't remember any of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't stem, it doesn't engender the same disdain. But also, I mean, if we really want to spice it up, it should be Lake Milwaukee. Let's be honest. It should be Lake Milwaukee. So maybe we get into that deal. Maybe we just start that battle for it.
But Gulf of America, the Lake Wisconsin.
Yeah, Lake Wisconsin. But in all reality, the UP is Wisconsin. Right, like
it is really.
It really is Wisconsin, and it's folks that want to be Wisconsinites.
That's where
that have to live in Michigan for greener pastures.
When the Lions fans took the bags off their heads and started proudly wearing their Honolulu blue, and we were there, Billy, when they invaded Lambeau and did a solid job of takeovers when they were feeling themselves. Right. Mm-hmm. That's when we came upon the idea that this game every year, like the Packers. Lions series should be played for the UP, for the rights to the UP. You get the UP for you get the tax revenue. Yep. You get the, we get their dispensaries.
Yes. But it's still legal. We still get their laws. We just get
we get Iron Mountain for skiing. That's that should be the traveling trophy. Should be is who owns the UP this year should be based on maybe the combined records of the Bucks and the Pistons and the Packers and the Lions.
It could be like that Capital One College Cup that they were all playing for. Yeah. We stack all of them together, and at the end of the year, who ends up getting to take stage run? Who ends up getting those golf courses up at Escanaba and all their great spots of the fire stations across the state?
Let me tell you something. Mackinac Island's, it's quaint, it's nice, but there's too much horse poop on that island. It's all horses. There's no cars. So it smells like horse poop everywhere. And I don't need that much fudge. I mean, there's nothing but fudge on that small island. There's like 17 fudgeries. You can't swing a cat around without hitting fudge.
17 fudgeries?
And you're stepping around horse poop all day. So it was nice for a day and a half. It was great when I went there. It was quaint. We went to a wedding. But you can't walk on the grass. I mean, it's all horse poop. So there you go. Or even on the street. It's everywhere.
There you have it.
Well, there you have it. Buy or sell. I mean, it's too much horse poop on Mackinac Island. Just saying.
Armen, did you just invent a word? Because I looked up fudger in the dictionary, Merriam-Webster. Fudger, a noun.
Yeah.
A worker in a shoe factory who finishes the edge of a sole.
Didn't know, but I'll take it.
But
I'll take
it. It doesn't have anything to do with the chocolate delectable treat. Just saying.
Yeah, or the Urban Dictionary.
On National Big Word Day, Armen's in his bag right now. We're having some fun on the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. The Brewers.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, sweep 23 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 390, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Dominating it Tuesday in the good land of buy or
You kinda
sell
make him look
Tuesday.
like
It's
like
the
a
Huddle.
butt doing
Fox
all
Sports Radio Wisconsin. Armen, what is going on back there?
Doing?
What are you doing?
Tough go in here in the first hour for me. I gotta clean this board up.
Jeez,
This is hour number
what
2.
is up?
Okay. Let's focus here for a
He
second.
was late coming back from break. He's had a couple of
Are your
swings.
fingers sticky from the Glazers you brought in this morning, or?
No, I don't think that's it. I really don't, but it could be.
I-
Anyway,
I think what
we're ready
it is
to go an
is-
hour 2 here. Let's go.
All right, here we
I
go.
think he's in the fetal position from the memory of his spelling bee adventure in the 4th grade that he regaled us with in the first hour of the program. And it's National Big Word Day, so he's flustered.
That's true. He's feeling like
He's
he
in a
needs.
kerfuffle.
Well, and you know what? He feels like he needs to perpetuate excitement and energy. But generally, what you need to do is lock the in. All right, we need to lock in over there.
Damn. Let's go.
Get
Come
hot
on.
and stay hot.
I mean, Armen, while he's trying to think of 3 and 4 syllable words to dazzle us with,
That's the problem. I
He's-
shouldn't be doing that.
you're having what guitar players refer to as ass hands. Like when you can't hit a note, you can't fret. You're trying to get around.
Right.
Your right, left hands are. It's like
Yeah.
I don't have hands. I have an ass hands.
Just
That's a great term.
straight buns back there right now. Okay, so we need to lock
Great.
this thing in a little
Yeah.
bit.
Great. All right, NicoletLaw.com.
That is
Talking text
awesome.
lines open for you. 877-794-1973. Get you in. It's Buy or Sell Tuesday. So what does that mean? It means you can send a proposition our way and say, are you guys buying or selling that Taylor Jenkins is the next coach of the Bucks?
I'm buying it. I definitely think the one deal is, Drew, he has a name that Bucks fans will remember, which I think, again, you're starting to try to frequent in traffic in this place.
Oh, wait, well, Bucks fans really remember an assistant from the Budenholzer early Eastern Conference Finals run?
They'll at least know the name, right? They won't know what he looks like. They'll hear the name and be like, "Oh yeah,
They may
that
have
guy."
heard it when he was taking, Memphis into the playoffs, and they might have heard, "Oh, that's a Bucks former assistant."
Yeah,
But
former
like,
assistant.
I don't know.
But it's not like they're gonna. No, it's not like they're gonna remember him as an all-time great or whatever. But you're in a spot where you're gonna be trying to look for any little bit of goodwill and positivity that you can grab, and also like the Bucks have spared no expense in hiring coaches before. If they think he's the best guy, they'll go out and spend whatever they can on him, because luckily I think at the end of this year, the end of this calendar year, they're done paying the Adrian Griffin buyout, right?
Yeah.
So I think they at least have some cash to be able to spend.
Only
there.
going to be paying 2 coaches still, which is a success, not 3. So you're right about that. And when I hear the term registering serious interest, it makes me feel like the ball's in his court. When I say him, Taylor Jenkins, it makes me feel like, look, they're letting him know you're our guy. It's yours if you want it. We'll come to terms. We don't know about Giannis yet. Maybe you can be part of those conversations. I could be wrong, but that's the feeling I got, guys. Is he's the guy to lose the job if he wants.
Yeah, it would seem that way. And he's, to me, he's like the top. I think he's the top candidate, right?
Gotta be. Unless there's a secret candidate
of guys who haven't coached. Well, Sam Cassell and Sean Sweeney and guys like that their names have been popped up. Becky Hammond's name pops up a lot, but it's it seems like he's the best pedigreed guy. He's been out of the game for 1 year after getting bounced in Memphis.
Well, in
situation,
in basketball, you don't get the retread name, right? Instead, it's like, oh, sweet, this guy he's got experience. He's an experienced head coach. Instead of in the NFL, it's like, he had his chance, right? He had his chance, and it's probably going to be all good for you, unless you take the Atlanta Falcons to a Super Bowl and have a 28-3 lead. Maybe you get another chance if you're Dan Quinn, but he had to wait like 8 or 9 years after to get another shot in Washington. So in basketball, you're very much getting another opportunity and using. It feels like that gets used more in a positive light than in other sports. It's like, well, failed head coach getting another shot instead of going out and, giving somebody a new opportunity who's never had that spot before and wouldn't necessarily know the things they do differently their second time around. Maybe that's the leg up that Jenkins has here. Has some experience and knows the things that he wants to do and the things that he wouldn't do to make sure that there's not a situation like the ones that continue to transpire there in Memphis.
What does the NBA rule state for how many assistant coaches you can have? Because that backbench has been growing and growing and metastasizing, and it's the same thing across the board in sports. It's happening in baseball. They have more coaches than ever. It used to be just, a base coach, first base coach, third base coach, hitting coach, pitching coach. And then it's like, okay, and then maybe a bullpen catcher, but then it was bullpen coach, bench coach. And now it's like run prevention coordinator, strategy, offensive strategy optimizer, video challenge guy. Like there's so many people. It just has metastasized.
And there's 3 considered on the bench. I believe.
Yes, 3 on the bench, but then everybody else behind, it doesn't really seem like, at least on their NBA rule book, it doesn't look like there's one different.
You get 3.
Yeah, and they must sit. All trainers and assistants must remain on the bench. Coaches and trainers not permitted to go to the scores table for any reason. So, in the NBA rule book, there's no limit on how many you could possibly have. And also, just because, the 5 or 7 guys behind in quarter zips doesn't mean that they're not they're the only ones, and there's could be 3 or 4 more that are sitting inside the video department, like you just mentioned.
Sending messages to those guys running around with pads and laptops.
Gotta have an iPad.
That's what it is. So they load up those back benches with a bunch of quarter zip coaches. So, but 3 is the limit on the bench, but that's probably better anyway because of all their laptops. They need room back there.
Yeah, that's true.
They're watching video all game, so it's an amazing operation. I hadn't. Went to game 6, obviously, the finals, sitting that close. Was the only time I was that close to actually see it happen behind the bench. I really was not aware of how much action goes on with the iPads and the laptops behind the bench, but it does seem like a growing trend of those. It just like, speaking of coaches on the bench, maybe this is a buy or sell. It's sort of like the, trends in coaching of not wearing the suits anymore. It's the trend of coaching of more guys being, back there. I did see Julius Randle show up with a white shirt and tie at the presser last night. Not something you see that often anymore with NBA players. Buy or sell guys that we need to have more of that. Not to sound like your dad too much, saying, why don't you guys wear a shirt and tie anymore, and dress up. But that was kind of cool to see. Usually it's fashion row with NBA players, but to see Julius Randle show up that way.
What did you think when you saw a couple of notable former Spurs players wearing the actual fan giveaway T-shirts?
Oh, God.
That had to warm your cockles like nothing else.
You know how I feel about that? Put the damn shirt on. It's good enough for the Admiral and for Tim Duncan, but it's not good enough for Walt and Baraboo, So, Albert, I don't want to put the shirt on, this and that. I tweeted it again, buy or sell.
Well, at least one of them is on the payroll, though. I like Duncan. Duncan's on the Spurs payroll. The Admiral, he'll just do absolutely anything that they can do.
Is there a worse look than that's the concert T-shirt argument? Then if you're wearing a long sleeve Oxford shirt, you just came from the from the office where you put down the Penske file, and then you go to the game and you put on the T-shirt over the Oxford. that's as bad a look as there is.
Jersey over the dress shirt.
That is just a fashion birth control right there.
Unless you're like the owner of the team, all right?
Even if you're on the team, you look even dorkier.
Then you know
then
that
you
the
have
shirt is. Then you should have your
private room to go change in if you had to, right?
Yeah, I've often thought the jersey over the dress shirt is the fakest of all hustle. But the giveaway shirt, like it's fun for Armen to say this because Armen is a slender individual. For the majority of folks, those giveaway shirts just don't work, right? Like they just don't fit. So as much as you think it's cool to shame folks for not putting the shirt on, maybe it's just their own self-conscious that is keeping them from putting the shirt on.
All right.
And you bullying them, I think is rather disappointing.
Well, it's
distasteful.
You know what? So be it. I mean, that's what I choose to do. Now, XL is usually the size.
Yeah,
I'm gonna investigate this. Okay, so
XL and medium.
Anyone below the XL has no excuse then, right? If you don't want to wear an XL, and we got plenty.
But it's not really an XL. And like it's a tagged XL, but it's more of like a very, very tight large is what your ball's going to get.
There's no XLs in all of San Antonio. They all have the shirt on. I mean, what was that?
Well, I mean, Charles Barkley said it's the women that
Big
are
old women in San Antonio.
the bigger XLs.
Right. I guess that's my thing. How come I see it in all these other markets, but we can't do it? That's part. Now, I don't believe, you shouldn't have to wear a shirt that doesn't fit comfortably, but I don't know that that's always the case. So for some individuals, it definitely is. I think some just don't want to do it.
I also just think it looks stupid. Like I know that this is so warm and near and dear to Armen's heart. I just think it looks amateur.
Well, this is the discussion for the fans and stuff, but let's go on court fashion.
All right.
Last evening, Tirico and Reggie Miller were chuckling at Kelly Olynyk's footwear. Kelly Olynyk's was wearing basically the no-show socks under his basketball shoes. Now, two things. First of all, my wife, who seldom pays any attention to sports, she'll look up from the Wordle and see a score. Like she's aware of some local players, but she pays no attention. But she looked up at an NBA game I was watching the other day, and she said, "Do players not wear high tops anymore? It's like everybody's wearing low tops. I thought basketball shoes had to have
almost had to.
It's been a while.
And it's like, they don't. There aren't that many guys. Like most guys are wearing low top shoes. But don't they sprain more ankles? I'm like, well, probably not. It's personal preference.
Which ones are going to sell?
When
Nike
we were
more?
growing up, it was high tops.
It was high tops. Then Kobe started selling like the low tops in the 2000s. And everyone liked them,
So then last night, the Kelly Olynyk, you Google him up. Did you see him?
Saw it. Oh my God.
He's wearing like no-show socks under, and it's like, then I got into, all right, this has become like a point of
and that's
fashion,
a lot of calf.
Fashion delineation.
Yes.
Because
good point.
The Gen Zers.
Yes.
Like the mid-calf socks that we wore in gym class, and like back when I'm old enough to have lived through socks that came up to your knees, like with the stripes, the athletic socks. And then it sunk down to like mid-calf, and that was the cool way to do it. And then it became like the ankle sock or the no-shows. And now it's back to the Gen Zers are back to like kind of mid-calf, and they think anything else looks dorky and old.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I weigh in on this, because I have a ton of like the ankle socks or the no-shows. And that's you wear what you got. You're comfortable. Iron Jock has, of course, Paulie Hansen has the best socks, whether they're the over the calf or not. But what should we be wearing when you wear shorts? Armen, you guys are
Great
in
question.
total dad mode, pushing strollers.
I love this question.
I don't know, man. So you got the khaki cargos on, and you got the dad uniform. What is it? What should we be wearing? Are you buying or selling? What is the fashion advice?
Fashionista Sarian?
Well, in the 90s, we were wearing crew and ankle socks.
Yeah.
But then
we're talking about now, though.
Yeah, right. So I'm saying, as a millennial growing into my early adulthood and adolescence, as an elder millennial, I was taught to believe you should be wearing no-show socks with shorts, because if you expose with shorts any sort of ankle sock at all, it was a completely nerdy look. Now, I did read the article that Gen Z has totally changed that. They're bringing it back, but I don't believe in it. So I still only wear no-shows if I have a choice. Right now, I basically have the no-show sock on right now. I'm not flexible enough to show you, but I believe, especially with shorts, that's the proper look. So I don't care what Gen Z says. Unless it's a higher crew neck sock, then maybe I'll do it.
Crew neck sock?
Crew neck. What am I saying? What am I saying? Crew sock.
Thank you, yeah.
However, we're talking about...
I got my turtleneck socks.
I got my hoodie socks.
You got your
over here.
turtleneck socks,
I
Billy?
messed that up. Yeah. But we're talking about form versus function. And when you're playing... Okay. Yeah, I get it. No, that's funny. That's good. Yeah. But when you're playing, shouldn't you be wearing something that protects the ankle from the rubbing of the sole and the rubbing of the shoe?
Yeah, there's a lot of rubbing.
That's why you never
if
see...
if you're wearing high tops, you would wear kind of the mid calf or
the crew
or the crew sock pushed down.
But it was also like the old school John Wooden thing that you had to have the sanitary socks, they used to call them. But it was also cool to make the NBA and wear those NBA socks. Like those NBA socks notoriously were like the most comfortable socks. They had the logo on them.
Yeah.
What did Mac used to say, Drew? He used to collect them in bags.
They're so good.
They're like
by far the most comfortable
nobody,
socks.
it's like when they're balling at that level, almost nobody would choose not to wear the NBA socks.
Yep.
Because it was super cool. You know?
I got 2 pairs of the NBA socks still from high school. Now, sadly, I just can't wear them anymore because they're just so stretched out and bad.
Sure.
But they were like the high ankle. So the only thing exposed from the low crew was the NBA logo. Sweet look. Now, I feel like, Drew, I'm probably similar to NFL teams when you're hiring a coach or organization when you're hiring a coach. I buy a pack of socks. I wear those sons of guns completely out and just slowly, like in The Sopranos, just start, dumping one. Right?
Them. Yeah.
All right, well, there goes that one. Oh, 3 holes in this one. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah. Start sending them out and taking them out back. And then once I realize I have no socks, and generally that happens around summer, and I'll be sitting in Crocs for the majority of the summer.
Go.
Then I'll course correct and go and buy the exact opposite of what I just had. So if I buy like 10 of the ankle socks, I'm probably buying a 12 pack of like the mid crew ones.
Yes.
I like wearing the crews if indeed I'm feeling athletic, because you never know when you're going to have to cross somebody up. So when I was growing up, you were wearing Nike Elite socks if you were cool.
Nike Elite, baby.
And you had to have the 3 stripes up the top, and they had to be tiered.
Okay.
Because if you had the just blank black Nike crew socks.
The everydays, I wear those now, yeah.
All right, Dad. Nice, right? Like that was the truth. But if you didn't have the sweet Nike Elites, and you'd quickly be able to identify on the heel and the Achilles if it had the 3, blocks, you just weren't cool.
But here's the other thing the kids are doing now, the Gen Zers that used to also be.
Those are also very comfortable, by the way.
Oh, great socks.
They're unbelievably comfortable to the point where I don't like wearing socks, but I'll keep those on all day long.
And I have to, even in the summer months, because my feet will sweat and stink up. You don't want that. Now, so to quick answer to that is, if I'm playing basketball, I'm not going to wear ankles, but casually or shorts, I'm always going to wear the ankle no-shows. But the other thing they're bringing back, these Gen Zers I've noticed, is they're mixing their brand with the shoe and sock, which used to be another big no-no. It was a huge no-no to wear like Reebok shoes with Nike socks or Adidas shoes with Nike socks. Yeah. But now they're doing that all the time.
Kids don't care about brands.
They don't care if they're wearing the Adidas. Brands. They care about some branding, but they care about it's different. So they wear the Adidas Samba with the Nike socks. I'm like, we wouldn't have been caught dead that way, but I guess that's not a big deal anymore. So
I never knew that with the shoes and socks. It was always like, the t-shirt and the shoes or the shorts and stuff. You had to kind of have it.
Well, that's if you didn't wear no-show socks. That's why why I like no-show socks, because I didn't have to worry about what brand my sock was.
The golfer's tan with or from your ankle, down, your foot is white. That's the golfer's tan, of course.
Or the one.
I'm just wondering, but Armen, look at there's a Twitter account, Brick Center. Play us the clip of Tirico and Reggie Miller clowning Kelly Olynyk. It's at the end of a kind of a blowout game. Portland didn't have a chance. They got kind of steamrolled, right?
Here we go, Armen. I got it up here real quick. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, yeah, he'll cover you because Armen's already struggling.
Wow.
Because
I was trying to get to it.
I mean, I see that's a lot of calf. All right, let's see if this is the exact spot that we're trying to hear. I got it up here real quick. Yeah.
Did he not think he may not get in here? Looks like he has booties on, but I mean, he does. Okay, all right, no shows. He does have socks on.
He does have socks, but he might go play a quick 9, carry the bag.
He might go play a quick 9, carrying the bag.
Carrying the bag does look like a high school golfer. Does get a little bit of he's going to be going and competing in the WIAA Invitational coming up this weekend.
Well, some guys don't like the way those socks slide in certain shoes. I get it, but usually when you're playing in the league and you're playing basketball, you got to have those higher socks. I get that. So I guess it's weird for Reggie. Who
John and Fond du Lac hits us on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. Kelly Olynyk, no taped ankles is the flex. Pretty sure I rolled an ankle getting out of bed this morning.
That is fair. That is a really, really good fair.
Are you allowed to even take the field in the NFL without your ankles taped?
I don't think so.
Whether you got bad ankles or not, you get them taped.
You get them taped dang near every single day. And, you know, the high tops, the low tops, I'm still in the spot where I was in high school when the Cam Newtons came out. Those full boot cleats that he was wearing. Like, he was wearing the crew Under Armour cleats, where those things were going, 3 or 4 inches up your ankle.
They were like high top boots.
Top boots that you were basically playing in. If those things make a comeback, then we're all doomed.
Sure.
Because those were some of the absolute worst things to wear. It was like running around with actual ankle weights and braces on.
Love it. I don't know, man. The fashion thing is fickle, right? And you guys are now in full-on dad mode.
Change,
Armen, you need the Air Monarchs. You need
need those wide foot
you need
shoes
the
now.
you need the cell phone clipped to your belt.
Oh, I gotta get one.
You gotta get
That's
one of those.
too much. I've
Billy,
never doing
you
that.
should just lean into it. You're pushing strollers. Like, you should be in full-on flipping dad mode.
Oh, well, you should see. We're gonna go to the zoo tomorrow, and I think I'm gonna have the digital camera lanyard around the
hell
jet.
yes.
I think I'm just gonna try to figure out every single way to do it. And Armen was making fun of you for taking the picture. And the real thing is you got to get the squint in with the nose of the. Hold on.
I'm just getting to the point about like not caring when you're just gonna wear what you wear till you die kind of
beautiful
phase.
way to
live.
live.
That's but
I'm getting there.
Worrying about the fashion stuff. I remember 10, 11 years ago. Like my daughter's just like, "Are you wearing joggers?" Like, what the hell? I'm just like, "They're Lululemon." I don't know. I mean,
They're
they're
great
comfortable.
pants.
It's
They're
like now it's all I wear.
They're very comfortable pants.
And
They
I don't
look
know
nice.
because I haven't been around. I haven't had to do drop off in a while or pickup of like to watch. But I remember being shocked in the winter, dropping the Sprout off at high school and watching guys shuffle it in Crocs and basketball shorts.
Oh, yeah.
10 degrees outside. I'm like, okay, well, so we're taking our fashion cues from those idiots that I saw walking in 10. So it's like, that's how I'm supposed to wear. I'm supposed to like listen to what they say about the proper sock height.
Right.
You're correct, Drew. You're spot on.
These guys that shuffled in, Billy,
wrong.
like you're not that far removed from that.
I agree.
I still dress like it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm totally comfortable saying that their opinions on fashion are wrong. Now, Billy, you don't do it for fashion. That's the point, though. You do it. That's what
function.
That's function, right? So, to your point, slim fit pants were the rage 15. Now everyone's wearing a baggy again. You saw PK Subban's pants on TV.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, they're getting bigger each
Those
round.
look so comfy.
MC Hammers.
We're gonna some of these baggy pants that are the trend now. We're gonna look back and
my brother-in-law once said, "You dress like you're Adam Sandler." I was like, "Well, that's maybe the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me."
It works for me.
He looks as comfy as anybody.
Well, the always Natalie attired Scott Dolphin is ready to usher us into halftime. Dolph is going to pop on in and we'll chop it up. We'll ask him what he thinks about this whole sock thing. Probably doesn't give a rat's ass. And that's probably the best is to follow the mantra, you do you, plant your freak flag, wear your socks wherever the hell you want to wear them, and forget what anybody says about it. That's probably the best advice we can give today. It's a buy or sell Tuesday. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Armen, you need a mulligan. You need to go start and get your first cup of
Let's
coffee.
get a breakfast ball in here.
Let's go.
At least this one didn't affect the on-air product.
I think it might have.
No, because the Dolph's here.
Well, yeah, but I just hit the mics on and you were caught talking into the open mic before we came back from break.
I don't think the air heard that one. I think just
I'm
you
not
heard
sure.
it.
Yeah, sure. I heard it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not
Well,
sure.
you did, right?
It's halftime. Scott Dolphin is here. Dolph, what do you do? What do you do when one of your teammates here is scuffling? Like we keep feeding him and he's just brick after brick after brick.
Yeah, you got to pick up the slack, I guess, Drew.
guess.
I mean, you take care of him, and maybe someday later in the week he'll take care of you.
Be professional and just plow through Armen's, clumsiness.
Armen,
today.
you were here. I was making coffee at 3:45, and you were in the kitchen. You haven't had your first cup yet?
Because I could not fall back asleep. So I was like, I'm coming in.
Well, that's what it is.
Oh, so that's what it is. Okay.
No, I don't think
That's why you suck today. That's why you're ham-handed
I
today.
took the long way to work. I got glazers.
Yeah.
I did everything.
I mean, you're usually here really early anyway.
I
but
tried it because
this
I
morning
got some
seemed
stuff
extra
to
early.
set up, but it was extra early today. It was. Just, I don't know why. I
Okay.
could not go
All
to-
right. Well, that makes sense. He woke up too early, and that's why he's rattled.
So that's what
Okay.
it is. He's
That
out of
makes
his
sense.
element. Now we got it.
I've had days like
We've diagnosed it.
I guess I'm sorry for being too early to work.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna work like
guarding
this,
a desk.
I'd rather have you come in like 10 seconds before the show and run a clean, tight shift.
you know
Billy
and get here early because clearly the extra early prep didn't do you any good today.
Did you know Larry Bird got to shoot around like 4 hours before everybody else? And nah, you're right.
Here's Armen Joe Bradying it. He's waiting for the video crew on the social media department to film him walking in at 3:47.
Yeah, that's
funny.
what it is.
Good reference. That's
Yes,
funny.
we've done a few of those. All right, so Dolph, believe it or not, we're talking fashion today, and it's two things. It's a two-pronged thing. When there's a free T-shirt giveaway at an arena, do you put on the shirt?
I have been known to put on the shirt. Yes.
Okay, you wear the ribbon, you put on the shirt. Now, the thing is, sometimes it's a bad look if you're coming from the office and you see somebody with a long sleeve Oxford on and they put a giveaway T-shirt over it. That's a bad look.
Yeah, that is bad.
You can't sell that.
I know this has been a thorn in the side for people like Armen over the years, right?
Armen will wear the shirt.
But I don't mind wearing the shirt. I usually won't wear the shirt after that.
Okay.
Then
it goes to like wash the car. It becomes a rag.
Shirt,
It kind of does. Yeah,
that's okay. I have no problem with
I've
that.
seen people almost come to blows after those T-shirt gun Grouper Lost shirts hit the ground.
That's what's funny to me. People will do anything for a free shirt, but they won't put it on because they're too cool.
The last Bucks game I attended was one of the last ones of the season, and the people behind me, it was pretty sedate. It was a Sunday afternoon game. It was pretty chill, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm at a New Kids on the Block concert, and the shrill screaming, and it's like they're giving away the damn T-shirts. Like, really?
Bratzuka
Really?
comes out, and you hear a different level of sound.
Yeah.
That's I'd rather that.
Yeah,
Billy. Give me the Bratzuka any day over the T-shirt.
Any day, but a T-shirt, it could land next to me, and I'm not going to make an effort to go get it.
So it's not about the T-shirt; it's more about the human dopamine excitement of winning something, right?
Yep.
Of winning something.
But the idea that you're going to scream and influence them to throw one your way.
Well, right. It's usually like the school day game.
That's what it turned into.
My seats are never great, so I know those things probably aren't going to make it up to me. But we used to have at FM 106, we used to have one of those 3-person slingshots. It would fire a
Those
T-shirt.
things are intense, dude.
Hundreds of yards. If you got in front of it, it would kill you.
Like the human hockey puck at the Admirals game.
Right. It's exactly, yeah.
Yep.
So it takes two people hold on and go forward while the other person goes back almost.
Is that
on
still in the
their butt.
garage or something like that?
It might still be in the garage, but it would fire. We'd take it to concerts, and it would fire a
all
T-shirt
the way back.
all the way to the back. Like
Too
in
bad you
Summerfest,
couldn't
for
send
example.
beers out that way.
Amazing.
Oh, you could.
That would be a dangerous
Dangerous.
invention right there. You thought the Bratzuka was firing something out? Holy cow!
Yeah.
You're catching a Coors Light one-handed.
Good day at the lake, though. I like the way
That's
you're
what I'm
thinking.
talking about, right? Right from the
Hit the
cooler
boat.
into the boat. We're testing that out this
Throwing
summer.
some Coors Edges out there, yeah, for sure.
So Dolph will put on the
Hey.
giveaway shirt at the game.
I would.
Okay. Then the other thing is, how high do you wear your socks now? Because the Kelly Olynyk wearing the no shows in the NBA, like in the NBA, the fashion of the NBA, it obviously has a big thing on the culture because
Big time.
the Fab Five were trendsetters.
Oh yeah.
I was at Fiserv, and they have several displays of Bucks uniforms through the years, and those ones that Kareem and Johnny Mack wore, the originals, how short the shorts are. The length of shorts, we seem to have come to an accord on that. You're either wearing like 5-inch, 7-inch, or 9. Sure. But the sock thing now is all the rage. Like how high? The Gen Zers want to have mid-calf the way you and I grew up when it was all the way to the knee.
Yeah, the tube socks.
Yes.
With the different colors. You were excited when you got that multi-color pack from
the red
Kmart.
And blue, yeah.
Oh,
man.
yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. I've never really thought about my sock game. I'm about mid-shin with today's sock.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that out of date now?
Well, that's actually
true. Yep.
You're rocking you're in with the 20-year-olds. Yeah, you're in.
I had to actually feel my leg. I got the jockey. I got the jockey mid socks on
mid-calf,
today.
Mid-calf. Mid-calf. But even if you're just wearing shorts, what's the preferred length? Because Armen's he's rocking the no-shows because he is a millennial through and through.
Yeah, I wear the
ankle socks.
Ankle socks. Yep, I've got multicolors. If you're golfing or going to Summerfest or whatever, you got to look good.
I like the little bit of the logo poking out, right? Like, so it might be just like the quarter inch over the top. The other thing is, I'm a size 15. No one sells size 15 or like 12 to 16 socks. Usually they go up to 13. So I got to budget a little bit. I'm going to need that thing to stretch just a tick. So if I go full no-shows, I'm basically wearing the sock that they give you to try on the shoe at the store that barely gets over the heel.
Socks are expensive too.
Yeah,
not cheap. You're right, Dolph.
Yeah. So
inflation is hitting the sock game. That's
true, and especially if you have to throw out your whole collection to update and get the proper length. I don't care. Cool. Anybody from Gen Z gonna rip me? Go ahead.
It's really fascinating to me in basketball, though, how fast those shorts have gone from past the knees baggy to, we used to call them nut huggers. Can you still say
that? Grape smugglers.
For sure.
I think the peak of the big short era was probably 06, 07, 08.
AI?
All right. What would really, he started it.
Allen Iverson.
Well, I guess
isn't it weird that now you say AI and nobody thinks about the MVP guard from Philly? Yep. They think about the robots that are going to take over the world.
What's funny, though, is these dudes are still so self-conscious, though, because they're wearing the John Stockton shorts, but they all wear tights. Almost every one of them is wearing tights.
That's true.
Or if they're not wearing tights, they're wearing the compression shorts that go down below the trim.
Accessorizing is a thing now.
It is.
Accessorizing.
Yep.
You got to be swagged out. You got to be looking good, feel good, and then they'll pay good if you play good.
And then in baseball, it used to have the above the knee with the long stirrups, and then it became the dumpy looking all the way down to the ankles, like your pants not showing any sock.
And people were pissed when Prince had the baggy pants too, right? Like, how dare you disrespect our game?
And that's the difference between every other sport in the NFL. NFL doesn't play that game. Here is what you're going to wear. Here's how you're going to wear it.
Yeah, it's on the wall when you walk in.
And if you're a quarter inch off, we're going to find your ass.
I still remember when Ezekiel Elliott was coming out of the draft from Ohio State. Now, he was wearing the basic crop top, right? Like, he had that thing, and he was showing off every pack. He had like an 8 to 10 pack when he was in college coming out. Then he started hanging out and going to those St. Patty's Day parties, and bad things happen. But he's running around, and when he's in the draft process, like, no, this is what I'm going to wear in the NFL. I still remember Roger Goodell like at the draft being like, that's really cute that he thinks that. Just wait till the first one of those fine letters ends up in the cabinet, and he'll maybe change the tune for a week too.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
You guys ever get sent home from a practice or anything because you had something?
No,
whether it be part.
I never made a team, so I would have to make a team first.
I think I did. The one thing was, I think I was gently reminded that in high school you're not supposed to wear beer shirts.
Oh, sure.
We weren't supposed to wear,
you turn it inside out. Don't make it turn it inside out.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to wear a beer shirt.
I knew a guy that in middle school got all of his clothes from his dad, got the Marlboro like stuff because he had like all the rewards.
Dad was hanging out at all the bars.
Camel was cool, man.
Camel
and dots.
Yeah.
I had in sports, the only real bad uniform one that I had was during equipment handout. Again, pear-shaped youth as a 5th or a 6th grader. Walking to football practice, I came home and I'm trying to get my pants on before practice. I'm like, Mom, they're not fitting. And that's like the most embarrassing thing that can happen. She looks at him and goes, well, yeah, one of them gave you a medium. So instead of rectifying that by going through the different channels and going, my mom walked up to practice with the pants and runs out at the coach and goes, which one of you idiots gave my son a medium pant? Look at him.
Look at him. Does he look like
a medium?
That's awesome.
So luckily they had a double XL.
He didn't even wear medium diapers for crying out.
He walked out in 3s.
Yeah.
So I don't think that we needed to get the medium pants.
That's hilarious.
I got sent home from baseball practice like today because the hair was touching my collar. That was a no-no. We were like the Yankees. No.
Your high school coach was like that? Yeah.
Couldn't touch the collar. No facial hair. And either one. So I got sent home. I got sent to the barber shop to get a haircut, and then I could come back to
I
practice.
don't think I ever got kicked out of a practice, but I did I almost did. I pissed off the coach because I was batting second in baseball for a while, batting second. And
best hitter on the team. Makes sense.
We're changing the order today, and they dropped me down, and they dropped me to 7th in the order. And I said, oh, that's great. I get to lead off the 3rd inning.
Oh, boy.
Coach was not happy. So I'll still be leading off, but it'll just be the 3rd inning. Like, oh,
that's funny, man.
It was funny, but coach didn't think so.
Probably accurate. Was it accurate?
Yeah, but that was that was like the front end of 2 outs and Armen's up. Well, we can start taking our spikes.
Right. I was gonna say,
that's
all right,
the worst thing you can do in baseball is like you ask Wags about that. Start. Oh, Armen's up. That was the old euchre bit. Like I'm up in the bases loaded. And like I look in and everybody on my team's in street clothes. They're all in street clothes, right? That's rough, man. That's rough.
Awesome.
All right, so last thing for you, I want to know, because we always talk about you're our Iowa guy, and the Brewers play the Tigers today, and there's just people are asking me, like, when the Brewers were in the American League, we knew they hated the White Sox. Tigers were just there.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan, Wisconsin should be more heated. Packers Lions was for a flicker there, but for a long time it wasn't. Bucks Pistons, not really. It's like Michigan almost seems like Iowa with pro teams.
It kind of does.
We're kind of indifferent about
rather
Michigan.
indifferent. Yeah,
Well,
it happens.
if that pesky lake wasn't in the way, there'd probably be a bigger rivalry.
Yeah.
Because we don't really consider the UP part of Michigan.
Well, no, and
it's Wisconsin.
We were just saying, like the Packers Lions game, or whoever wins that series every year should get the UP for the year. Should get the tax revenue and should get the UP, and you make it the traveling trophy for whoever wins.
Yeah, I love that. I think that the Lions, since they've been relevant the last couple of years, it's become a bit more of a rivalry.
A little bit more, but then
too much
Ben
smack,
Johnson peeled off and went to your guys, and now we hate your guys more. And it's
That's
like,
true.
Detroit.
Yeah, that's
Detroit
true.
is, when it comes to it's Chicago. For me, it's Chicago, Minnesota, Detroit. For others, it's Minnesota, Chicago, then Detroit.
It's been so long that division was the White Sox, the Brewers, the Tigers,
and KC for a while.
Does it say
maybe?
Royals in there?
and Indians. Is that what it was?
Yeah, Cleveland. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, Royals.
back in the day.
KC was in the
yeah,
well,
we've all moved around so much.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah.
I mean, well,
Tigers,
for
Yankees.
all those years, I mean, and people always say, "Oh, the Brewers never made the playoffs." That was when they were winning 95 games and
couldn't in
finishing
the East.
third
Sure.
in the AL East
Yeah.
behind New York and Boston.
And Baltimore
Well,
all those years.
We
yeah.
weren't around to see it, but there was one point where if you had to win your league, there was only one and to go to the World Series. There were no playoffs, right?
Sure,
Except the
that's
World
what-
Series
yeah.
back in the day.
9
Exactly.
it started, I think.
Is that what it was?
So yeah.
that relatively wasn't that long ago
Right.
where there were no playoffs. That's crazy to think. And then it was just what the LCS.
LCS. It was just LCS because you had the West and the East in both leagues, and that was until the strike was over in '95.
Damn,
Yeah,
that is crazy
Yeah.
to think.
you had to really do a lot. That's why winning a division was celebrated so vociferously back then.
Sure, and
There you go. Big word day. Come on now.
And the NFL,
you guys, you look at old division clinches. They're celebrating like really, it's the World Series, and everyone was because that's the long 6-month march across the desert to really accomplish a big feat
time
of winning a division that big, and you had to usually win 95 and 100 games.
and even in the NFL, you had division winners and you had one wild card, right? And they went to the highest seed, and usually got blown out.
Usually, traditionally. All right, we've covered it all. Sox, local, regional rivalries. Again, Michigan's third.
What people are talking about?
I don't hate Michigan that much.
I don't either. I've never had.
For a minute, we started to feel like Dan Campbell. We got a little tired of those people invading, but in a way, it was like the Russians leaning on their sticks watching the 80 U.S. team celebrate. It's like, hey, look, Detroit's good for once. First time in 30 years, they got something to be happy about.
Good for you.
Let
guys.
them have their moment.
Yeah,
you
I'll
know?
tell you, we went on a tour one year of being an Iowa fan of all the Iowa away games, and they played at Michigan and Michigan State the same year, about 2 weeks apart. I had way more fun in East Lansing than I did in Ann Arbor. I can tell you
Really?
that. Yeah, Ann Arbor people were not tolerating our nonsense.
Yeah, they think that they're pretty elite. Yeah.
Now East Lansing, we had student section tickets. It was raining the whole time. We had an incredible time.
Oh, and it's up
with
for
it.
grabs
It was
there.
so much
Yeah.
fun in East Lansing.
Fantastic. Dolph, thanks for popping by. Always appreciate your
Thanks,
insights
fellas.
on halftime. Halfway through the Tuesday edition, it's Buy or Sell Tuesday. Get them to us, 877-794-1973. Gets you to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text. And when we come back, Billy's going to hit us with who's hot and who's not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen. That's next. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Rolling along the Tuesday edition of the Huddle. This portion of the program brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. I'll be visiting them on Thursday. Game Day Men's Health, doing the work to keep guys in the game. If you're feeling sluggish, you want to seize the day every day. You want to be ready for be in shape for summer. You still got time, but not if you're sinking into the couch at 6 o'clock and don't have any energy. Energy is everything. And Game Day Men's Health can help you with that. They have testosterone replacement therapy. They have peptide therapy, which is all the rage at gyms these days. Find a stack that works for you, weight loss or bulking or shredding, whatever you're doing, Billy.
Whatever you're trying to do, they got something for you.
They got something for you to help you along your fitness and health journey. Check out GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Find a clinic near you and set up your free, no obligation consult. Take you 45 minutes and can change your life. GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Can I hit you guys with a quick buy or sell here?
Yes.
It is draft week, and Todd McShay, formerly of ESPN, now with The Ringer, put out a tweet last night that got some traction. He said, draft week, couple of long odds worth taking a hack at the FanDuel Sportsbook, a partner of his. And he listed linebacker Sonny Styles, number 4 overall, and Jeremiah Love, number 3 overall, a plus 600, whatever it is. The bet doesn't necessarily matter as much as buy or sell. As a draft guru, as the draft insider, as the mock draft guy that everybody goes to, he's kind of getting hammered in the comments that you should not be allowed to do this. You should not be allowed to take money from this gambling entity to be able to give out a couple of these. Are you buying or selling that that's dirty work by Todd McShay?
Any dirtier than what he did before?
I was gonna say, I'm like, wait a second, what are we going into? Who are we talking about here? What also? Who doesn't get cash at this point?
Is it because there's an idea that he can influence the market?
1,000%. Yes, it's the thought that he could influence the market and change up how people are viewing where that player goes.
A spinoff of the Rossini thing. She didn't just like cover the league and report stories. She influenced the markets.
Yep.
Made other GMs worry about, AJ Brown might be going to, it's like that.
And when he's asking people to gamble on it, I could kind of see the issue, actually, to be honest with you. I don't think it's super serious, like, because everyone has the right not to take his advice and not gamble it, right?
Yeah.
But maybe there is something there. I didn't really think of it until it was explained that way by you. But
because I see guys doing it on every NBA show now.
Yes.
Every pregame show, they build out with all 3 guys that are sitting at the panel. Hey, give us one thing, and then this pays 6-1 at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. This pays whatever it could be.
Yeah.
And like those guys don't know. They're 100 miles away, 1,500 miles away. Maybe sometimes they're on the floor at the NBA Finals and they build it out, but there's only so much you know. This guy, at least from the conversations you're having, there's a lot of people that jump right on. Now, people think that there might be some legitimacy to it because the line's moved quite a bit. He said Jeremiah Love at plus 380. It's now at like plus 225 at most institutions. So there might actually be some fire behind that smoke that McShay was pumping out.
And that's more about speculating on a human decision, not outcomes of an athletic event. So maybe that's part of it. It's sort of like the, betting on the future of a vote outcome, like an award outcome. Maybe if you're a voter, could you be affecting that a little bit? Is there a little quote unquote insider stuff there? So it is kind of a little blurred line. Yeah, that's
right.
But you're always going to have to get asked about it. It's never going to go away. It's
Absolutely.
not. You're not putting that toothpaste back in the
quickly.
tube.
Who's hot? Who's not? Brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen.
Who's hot? CJ McCollum last night, 32 as the Hawks go and upset the New York Knicks. Who's not hot? Knicks fans walking out of MSG. Well, actually, they were white hot, but not necessarily in the right variety. Act like you've been there before, Knicks fans. I know you haven't won a title in 50-something years?
Well, they have been. They've been there a lot of losing.
They've done a lot of losing. You should be used to it. You should be calm, and this should be an okay thing. You should know how to handle this. Also, Minnesota Timberwolves, big night from Anthony Edwards. He may have been cold from 3 of 11, but 30 points, and they knock off Denver. Maybe some trouble in the Mile Get High City.
Donovan Jorgensen, employee owned for 40 years. Check him out at donovanjorgensen.com. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. The Brewers are off on Monday. They'll open up a series at Detroit tonight. Moving on to basketball, a nail-biter in New York.
And he missed both. Hart with the rebound. No timeout called. Get it up for Bridges. Put it up for the win. And he missed it. Atlanta comes all the way back from 14 down and ties the series. They win game 2 in MSG, 107-106.
The Hawks edging the Knicks 107-106 to square up that series at a game apiece. Elsewhere, the Cavaliers take a 2-0 series lead over the Raptors, Cleveland winning 115-105. Minnesota pulls off the upset at Denver, the Timberwolves beating the Nuggets 119-114. Also from the NBA, the Bucks have reportedly met with former assistant and former Memphis Grizzlies head coach Taylor Jenkins about their head coaching vacancy. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Diller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the board y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
Armen, Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Dominating a Tuesday in the good land. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 in Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app and streaming live for you folks on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Welcome in, Drew, Billy, and Armen. We're having some fun with a buy or sell Tuesday. Our buddy Danny in the Shaw thinks we talk too much about socks today, but it's the topic, man.
Yeah, you know what?
It gets carved, and it's a whole line in the sand thing.
Yeah, but then he wanted to know more about the Brodzuka.
Yeah,
so what's
and then,
more compelling?
That's fair.
You know, everybody says, "Oh, slow sports day." It's like, you know,
Well, kind of. There was
can't
no
always eat the
Brewers game
same
last night.
thing
Kind of
all
hurts.
the time, though. Yes, it's draft week, and we're going to talk to Regs, and we'll get more into the weeds of the draft. But NBA playoffs, we're spectators. We spent a meaty first segment talking about Giannis and Taylor Jenkins. If you missed that, where were you? We're here at 5.
Yeah,
just saying. But you can go back
earlier
and listen to that. You can reverse the stream if you're, the podcast, wherever you get your podcast, iHeartRadio app, Apple, Spotify, we're everywhere. So check us out.
Yeah. All right. Well, sports guy, need more sports in your life. Need more sports conversation. What did you guys make? Buy or sell on a beautiful buy or sell Tuesday? Craig Counsell getting into the news a little bit yesterday, going after a Shohei Ohtani rule.
Thought that was interesting. He called it bizarre.
He said it's bizarre. Counsell did pause and exhaled. We all know how that.
Come on, Jesse.
Reference.
Come on, Jesse.
When referencing the Los Angeles Dodgers during Monday's pregame media briefing at Wrigley Field, he described Major League Baseball's Shohei Ohtani rule as bizarre. When asking for an explanation on why clubs in certain situations with a cluster of injuries on their pitching staff with the 13 rule of 13 position players, 13 pitchers, though not explicitly called the Ohtani rule, there's a two-way designation that qualified players can pitch in any situation and not count towards the active pitcher roster in the MLB rule book. And Counsell's just like, I've never understood it. It's an offensive rule, essentially. It's a rule to help offense more than anything, if you ask me. Then there's one team that's allowed to carry basically one of both. And he gets special consideration, which is probably the most bizarre rule for one team. There's not another player like that, but one team gets different rules for that player. I'm going to buy it and give Craig Counsell a round of applause.
All right.
I give Craig Counsell a round of applause. Yeah, it's garbage. All right. And that's the only reason why it works for the Dodgers is because you ruin these rules and you make it weird that we give a special exemption to the greatest player of all time. How dare you guys make us and let people watch maybe the greatest talent that the sport's ever seen do both? How dare you? How dare you not rob humanity of watching maybe the greatest sporting baseball player to ever live in this century? We should. You need to take off Emmett Sheehan, I believe is my man's name. You can take down one of your starting pitchers if he's going to start, because this is garbage and we're getting screwed.
So my thing is, Billy, I get the point you're making and I like it. My thing is, maybe it's a little unfair, but I don't think it's bizarre that MLB wants to make an exception.
Very much not bizarre to me. Yeah.
What's bizarre about that? They want to showcase. And the other thing I would say is it's bizarre for a bizarre player. When I say bizarre, I mean in terms of we've never seen anything like him. You know, the Babe Ruth comparison, whatever. Ohtani is kind of a bizarre cat, not in the way he's acts or like, I mean, bizarre in that it's so different and so unique and such a unicorn, one of one, that he kind of warrants a unique type of rule if you want to see him do what makes him unique, and that is play two ways, right, and dominate two ways. So that might just be the shakes, Craig. I understand why it might not be fair, but that's the league you're in, and that's the product they're trying to promote.
Will we see more people who can do that, like those who remember the Brooks Kieschnick era, as Armen does?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Will we see more guys like that can do both? That can.
Yeah, that's the idea. A guy that can hit and pitch, but no one does both to elite levels like Shohei. That's the difference.
No one ever.
Yeah,
that's true. But I'm just saying, like, moving forward, because will it be 10 years from now? Will it be more prevalent? Or are those guys still going to be so rare? Are we going to start fostering that? Will people be inspired by Ohtani? Because a lot of times your pitcher in your youth teams is your best athlete and best player, and then they become pitchers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you have to specialize.
You put the bat down and forget about it.
So this ended up being one of, if I'm not mistaken, our best knockout, dragout, non-football conversations when we were doing 9 to Noon just for kicks. And the tough part I saw it, Drew, as exactly what Counts is saying. As a manipulation to the rule where you can have a personnel advantage that even if the guy is a middle of the road reliever and a utility player, you can at least then kind of fudge the system and get an extra roster spot if the guy can do both. And the biggest one for me is it's not that there's not players. Shohei Ohtani's athletically and talent-wise better than all these guys that have tried it.
Yeah.
Right, but there was a Brendan McKay that I remember for a while ago. He was like the second overall pick, and the word was he was going to do both. He's going to get into the minor leagues and do both. And I think he got drafted by the Rays, and 2 months in, they're like, nope, you're going to hit. You're going to hit. You're done with this pitching thing.
They usually pick one.
Or like Lucas Erceg, who was a Brewers prospect, second-round pick. When he's in college, make him a hitter, plays third base, kind of flames out in the minor leagues. He's like, well, I'm going to try to resurrect my career. And now he's an all-star reliever. There's guys that can have the talent to do both, but never the club, Drew, that had the vested interest in giving it a real try at the major league level. So I do believe there will be more teams that have a two-way player within the next 10 years.
I thought with certain chances, there were certain guys that could become that. I mean, Giovanni was a really good hitter. Giovanni Garro was a really good hitter. Could he have DH'd every day? And
20, you got to do 20 games.
Yeah. I don't know. If he could, but could he be, my point is, would he be good enough to warrant that spot? You have to be good enough to be in that lineup every day. I mean,
someone asked me the other day about who the Brewers, what pitchers were good hitters. The guy I remember is Greinke.
Greinke was phenomenal.
Greinke was good. CC hit a couple dingers, I think.
CC was really good.
He was okay.
I think Giovanni's the one.
He was competitive, but yeah, Greinke was really into it.
Greinke was another good one. So, I mean, Woodruff, I'd love to see him hit more, but I don't know if we're talking about not guys that can hit good for a pitcher, quote unquote, but guys that are actually good enough as a hitter to say, you're better than any other option we have at DH, so go out there and take the hacks every day.
Yeah,
there aren't many of those guys like that,
And no, it goes back to Shohei's incredible talent, but also the level of cachet he had when he came over. Right? Like when he came over, he was regarded as this dude's going to be the best player of all time. So somebody needs to allow him to do it. And if I'm not mistaken, the reason why he chose the Angels over everybody was because they just said, yeah, dude, do what you want. You want to hit? Sweet. You want to pitch? Sweet. Do that too. You want to do it on the same day? Sounds good. Let's do it. Let's figure out any way to get people away from Disneyland over to Anaheim for a baseball game. And when he was the attraction, you could do it. And then when he flourished, it worked out. But Drew, waving a flag right in the face of it is this Travis Hunter deal in the NFL, where last year he was the talk 2 days before the draft of, is he a wide receiver? Is he a corner? Which one is he going to play in the NFL? You can't do both. Well, then James Gladstone, the youngest GM in NFL history, went out there about Travis Hunter's a different guy. All right, Travis Hunter is potentially going to change football. He is a different talent. He's a different human being. And talks so eloquently and glowingly about Travis Hunter and the ability for him to have such an impact on football long past the time that he plays.
Change the history of the game type of stuff. Yeah.
My man gets hurt 1 year, and now the reports are, he's going to be a corner, and we might give him 5 or 10 plays on offense. So as much as it's, player talent-wise, I think it's so much more of the team saying, we have a limited time with this asset, and you better figure out how to play one at an exceptional level at all before we start worrying about you doing something else.
There you go. 877-794-1973. Hit us with your buy or sell propositions, as they may be. You buying or selling that the Brewers were off last night. They start a series against Detroit now, and it does look like it's going to line up for them to face Skubal on Thursday, getaway day, and Friday, Skeens. You buying or selling that they can win one of those two games?
I'm buying it. I think they're going to get one of two. I think not only can they've shown they can hit Skeens, in the past, obviously, but I think we have good enough pitching as well to stick in these games and go beat the bullpen. So I'm buying that.
You've got the day off. You had the day off yesterday, so you don't have one in between. So that makes me think, how do you manipulate your lineup to not have the Thursday getaway game lineup? Are you gonna want Contreras? I suppose Sanchez maybe. I wonder what the lineup's going to look like and how that calculus will work.
Yeah, Sproat against Skubal just doesn't seem like a matchup that I'm ready to back and put the willingness on. However, they've hit Skeens before at American Family Field, so I'm buying that they can win one of the two. But that's a good point, Drew, because you look at the two games before, you're going to get Harrison and Patrick to start for the Brewers. Is there some of hey, we're going to take our lumps potentially on Thursday and just let that game happen? We want to make sure that we're able to grab the first two, because those two, where we're going to have two young studs, and right now Chad Patrick potentially performing like your best starting pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And if you can match those guys, you stay within the game, get into the bullpen, unless those guys are going to go way deep into games, you can go try and get those guys, get the bullpen. So I like their chances to win one. I guess I believe in this team right now a little bit. So I like it.
Are you buying or selling that there is importance to the stat? Did you see it that came out about the Pro Bowl players? Most Pro Bowlers on their current roster drafted by that team.
Packers got to be way down on that list.
Eagles 8, Ravens and Lions 7 apiece. Texans, Broncos, Chargers 6. You go down, and the Packers, Billy, are dead last with
zero. Yep.
Bears and Dolphins have 1. Titans, Steelers, Jets, Giants.
You don't want to be last.
You're at 0. So, but what does that say? Because they're better than a lot of teams. I mean, they have fewer Pro Bowlers drafted than the Jets. Well, who would you rather be?
Sure.
Yeah, they can have Garrett Wilson, and
Pro Bowl's not.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing is Pro Bowl. What does that mean?
How good is that as a measuring stick?
Well, tough thing is too. I think Tucker Kraft would have been a Pro Bowler if he stayed healthy, right?
Yes.
Zach Tom probably could be a Pro Bowler, but he was also hurt.
They just recently said goodbye to Jair and Elton Jenkins, who were Pro Bowl
players drafted by the team.
More of a
true.
But how important is that, and how damning is it? Because we're gonna have Reegs on next to talk draft, and he's not exactly a Goody Stan.
Yeah, it's not a nothing, right? It's not nothing, because there's definitely something to the fact that the players that they've brought in, have they brought in all good players and nice players instead of standout blue chip players?
if Tucker Kraft and Zach Tom stay healthy last year, are they Pro Bowlers? Probably.
At least one of the two, and probably both. And Christian Watson, I think, with a full season will spotlight to that point. But I mean, wide receiver is a tough spot to break in. As much as I would have loved to say that Matthew Golden with enough opportunities go in there, that's a tough spot to crack in the NFC right now with the amount of top flight wideouts they have.
It's important to draft and to develop Pro Bowl type players. But if you get Micah Parsons and Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney, you get them, you've got them. Right. And it's like, there are, what's the running total on that, on free agent acquisitions or trade acquisitions that are Pro Bowlers?
Yeah. And that's the other part of it. And Jordan Love also hasn't been a Pro Bowler. So that's one where that is probably the pick that saves Goody's resume in terms of drafts more than anything. And he would be one guy that doesn't qualify in there, but there's a lot of teams that would take him over their quarterback situation.
CJ McCollum, the star of last night's garden party, has toiled in obscurity for much of his career because of the market that he's been in and stuff. And I would just ask Billy, has he ever been an all-star? And I don't think he has.
No, not one time. He's a most improved
to me, he's been one of the
time.
best players in the league, and he's never been an all-star. What does that tell you?
Yeah, he's always been kind of the Robin, right? Because you had Dame there, obviously. So he's at Joe.
But he's hit some big shots. He's had some huge moments, big games. Like I'm like, he's pretty. I consider him to be like an upper tier NBA player, but he gets no run and no all-star.
No real love. That's true.
In sports in general, that honor can be a bit overrated. Robin Yount's a Hall of Famer, one of the great players in baseball history. I think only a 3-time All-Star.
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just the way it is in the position and how they vote in the first half. Speaking of voting, I have a buy or sell for you guys before we end this segment.
Come on now.
Buy or sell. Victor Wembanyama was a Defensive Player of the Year unanimously. First one.
First ever.
So my question, and he deserved it, okay? It was clear that he was the best defensive player this year. So it's not as much a question about that, but the buy or sell that we are now entering what I'm going to call this era, a culture of coalescence around voting and groupthink. Billy hates when I do this.
Big word day.
Billy hates when I bring this up.
Coalescence.
Where voters are now coalescing around somebody they all think should win and voting as such. And we've talked about this with Hall of Fame voting, and famously, not even Hank Aaron was a unanimous Hall of Fame selection, but Derek Jeter was one away.
So are you asking, should somebody have voted for Draymond Green?
No.
Just to make sure he wasn't the unanimous guy?
So in this case, I definitely don't. I mean, I think Wemby was the obvious pick. So I guess my question also is it better or worse? Are we just getting smarter as a group, getting other people's opinions, or are we getting influenced by other people's opinions more? And is that just my imagination that that's happening? Drew, you voted for a lot of things. You have Hall of Fame votes, obviously.
Yeah. It's the electorate's always evolving, I think,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think you're wrong on the thought, though, that there's like a consensus that comes.
Right.
And at some point, especially when it becomes public, people are like, well, how on earth did you not do this? Now, I don't think it's a bad thing for the votes to be public, unless you're Diana Rossini and you tell 2 people you voted for him first for MVP potentially, right? Like, unless that's the situation and you're giving out promises that you're unable to deliver on, that's the only reason why I think it would be wrong. Like the Sam Monson thing, he took a lot of smoke online, but he was the only guy to admit as to why he voted a certain way.
And defend it.
I give ridiculous respect for that.
Yeah.
So I do believe, Armen, that like with how much data, how much conversation there is around sports, maybe there's a thought that we all believe, well, the betting market says right now, this guy's going to win it because he's a -300 favorite.
Sure.
That doesn't mean, because no vote comes in and then 3 weeks later you send in a different vote.
Yeah.
It's all speculation anyway, that I don't believe that it's just like, oh, we're only going to see unanimous guys because nobody wants to be called out and wrong.
I do think, though, the existence of social media does a couple things. In one way, it changes it in that we are kind of having let's take it as voting, right? Where everybody has a silent ballot or everyone gets in one room to agree. We almost are shifting more to the aspect of everyone's getting in one room to discuss it and agree, even though it's on social media now, where everyone kind of agrees on the candidate and votes for that, where that wasn't the case in the past. I'm not sure if it's better or worse, but I think it is changing. So didn't know if that was something you guys noticed.
So you're saying more like the old Hall of Fame deal in the NFL, where all 50 voters would sit around, talk about it, and then they would vote on it. But they'd still be if I believe correctly, they'd still vote privately, and that
or
would
like
never
a jury or a Supreme Court. Obviously,
Sure.
that's not literally what's happening, but it does seem like we're getting more and more of the quote unanimous votes.
Could
of
be.
course, Wemby's a bad example because he was obviously the best defensive player this year.
I know one race that won't be unanimous: Con Knippel and Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, that's
Good
a
example.
split decision.
So that's
Yep.
a split decision.
Yep.
Yeah, and that'll be argued probably by a lot of people for a long
I'm
time.
sure.
I also think at least when you hear a lot of people talk about the votes, and Drew, I know you've mentioned this a couple of times, but like taking in feedback from players, I think is one of the best ones of like, they're the ones on the floor. They're the ones on the field. They might know if this guy's good.
They would, yeah.
Right? They might know who might be
definitely.
the best guy if they care to be able to give the conversation. And that's where, depending on the different reporters, you have those relationships and understand, oh, this guy's actually going to give me some truthful answers and care about it. Or this guy's going to say, well, who was in the All-Star game last year? Why don't you put him down?
Before we go to break, and Regs is coming up to talk a little draft. Billy, who's our superhero of the day? Presented by Current Electric. Callcurrent.com is the website for those superheroes. Who's our superhero of the day?
So there's a lot of opportunities in a lot of places that I think that we could go with today's superhero of the day. I really wanted to give it to Armen Sarian just for returning and being solid, but he's just been so bad on the board today. There's just no chance that we possibly could.
I fumbled the award.
But I'm going to give it to the new highest paid kicker in NFL history. Brandon Aubrey's setting records, not only on the length, of the field goals that he can make, but on the contracts that he's signing. Now, it is not the 10-year contract that people said potentially Brandon Aubrey's wife was saying he was going to get, and that he was demanding and potentially wanting out of Dallas that they weren't going to give him. 4-year, $28 million. That's $7 million a year to kick a football. Highest paid kicker in NFL history. He's the best kicker in the NFL, so it's rightfully deserved. $7 million for kickers in the NFL. God is good.
Yeah, and he's
God is good, man.
If you can
superhero of the day, Brandon Aubrey, being able to not only boot 70-yarders.
That's the thing.
But be able to cash in and set a new bar in the NFL. Current Electric, they're setting new standards and new bars for electrical folks all over the area, especially their $26.99 safety inspection for your home, Drew. What's the price that you can put on your peace of mind? Definitely more than
that's
less than $30. Are you kidding me? As well as their free home generator assessment that you can get. We might be out of last week's storms. We are going to have a lot more over the summer. Make sure your home's protected because you don't want that power going out and all the food in your fridge and medicine having to go out. So go callcurrent.com, set up one of those free home generator assessments, and you can thank us later.
It's 2 days away from the chimes, and we're going to talk to Regs about the NFL draft. That is next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddled up on a Tuesday. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app. Draft week is upon us. Our draft coverage will be voluminous. Armen word. Big
That's
word day.
Good word. Good work there, Drew. Come on now.
And Wayne Larrivee have been prepping together, sharing notes, getting ready for the wall-to-wall coverage we will have of the draft beginning Thursday night. It's presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel.
And you can also invest on the draft over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. All different picks on who will be the first, second, third overall pick, what have you, different draft markets right now. Packers. Who will be the playing position of the team's first drafted player? Plus 160. Corner or offensive lineman? Could it be a defensive lineman at plus 250? Drew, they shock the world and go running back at 20-1 with their first pick. Ooh. Who knows? You can go bet above the rest over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook and enjoy the draft with us for 3 straight days.
Well played. Guy who enjoys the draft 365 days a year is Rob Reger. He was part of the Geek Squad 10 years ago on these here airwaves and interwebs, and he joins us now from Cheesehead TV's Draft Guide. Which position group did you do, Regs?
I do quarterback and I do small school sleepers. So it's probably my favorite one, kind of uncovering those hidden gems.
Love those guys. Love the small school sleepers. Also, Locked On Packers. And Regs, as we get closer, people are issuing their final mock drafts. What is your MO in that regard? What do you like to do? I know you like to do one of what you think's going to happen and what you would do.
I do. So, yeah, my first one, and probably the one that I like the most, is what I think I would do. So I played the GM hat on all 32 teams, and it takes me a long time to do this. I look at strengths, weaknesses. I just dropped that yesterday, NFL Draft Regs on Twitter. Sent it over to you guys what I would do, and then Thursday morning I come out with a whole what I think is going to happen type of thing. Right? I'm like, oh well, these guys might do this, might do that type of thing. So a lot of the first one is my own personal rankings and things like that.
So, Regs, as I mentioned there with who the Packers will take on their first pick, obviously they need corners. Obviously they need defensive linemen. Yep. Probably some offensive linemen as well there. One of the hidden spots that I think that they're going to look at and potentially early, because if you don't grab one early, you might not get one that is an legit NFL player at that spot, is running back. Where do you fall on the running backs? Obviously love different caliber than everybody else that is in that grouping. Yep. But I actually think his backup might be the second best guy in the draft as well. Where do you fall in on that position?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably the third. I have Mike Washington slightly ahead of him because of the physical ability. I do feel that the Packers need a running back, but I also feel that that's something that they can address later on I actually released also my sleeper bust list, and I have 2 potential sleepers on there. Nicholas Singleton, guy that we're pretty familiar with from Penn State, is a guy that I really like. Everybody's sleeping on him, but I feel like in maybe the 5th, 6th round, they can grab him, and he'd be a great backup running back to Josh Jacobs, for sure.
Rob Reger joining us. All right, so do you have in the top 10, will there be 3 offensive linemen taken? Billy loves him some offensive linemen. More, 3 or maybe 4. I'm just wondering, what's the first position we'll be talking about on Thursday night where there's a run? Like, does that constitute a run? 3 offensive linemen in the first 9 picks, 10 picks?
I would say so.
That starts a run, but it's a deep position. Yeah. So when the draft unfolds, it's like, oh, somebody's going to break the seal and take a corner, and here's a run on corners. Like, what is that position, do you think?
I think it's wide receiver. I think that there's a lot of teams out there that have that sneaky need for a wide receiver. I think that a lot of teams, they don't want to be that first one because you don't know if it's going to be Mekhi Lemon, if it's going to be Jordan Tyson. Carnell Tate is another possibility. But I feel like once that starts, I feel like the dominoes are going to kind of fall with that because you're potentially looking at maybe 6 wide receivers in round 1. Casey Concepcion's another guy, Omar Cooper. There's a lot of receivers, probably 6 first-round receivers, but it may not start until, I mean, on my thing, I have it at 14, but it could be a little bit sooner than that because teams get a little antsy this time because they don't want to miss out. So then once the first receiver gets taken, teams are like, oh, shoot, we better look to that position as well. So you never know with these runs, but I feel like wide receiver, I mean, offensive linemen, I think will always be pretty popular, with the folks. People want left tackles more than anything. But as far as this draft goes, there's not a whole lot of sure things when it comes to offensive line. There's a guy from Miami, but now he has a herniated disc. So there's a couple guys out there that have a lot of question marks. So who knows?
I was going to ask you about the injury question marks. Our injury reports brought to us by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Best in the business, orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. So who are those other guys, like, guys with maybe knee issues or MRIs? And, that is interesting. The ramifications of guys' health and their medical file. Do they fall into the sleeper category? Who are the guys with the kind of clouds of uncertainty due to injury?
Well, the first one and probably the most well-known is Jermod McCoy out of Tennessee. He missed the entire season last year with a knee injury, but prior to that was considered the number 1 cornerback in the country and was actually competing for like a top 5 pick, but he missed the entire season last year. So he's a guy who'd be very interesting to see. I have him going 9 to Kansas City because they need to replace Trent McDuffie, but I mean, that's a guy, even the guy that I have going to the Packers, our Mason Thomas is kind of my pick to click for them, who's a guy kind of a carbon copy of Hassan Reddick. Remember him a couple years ago? Jonathan Gannon's defense with Philadelphia. They're both 6'1.5". They're both 241. They both have a lightning quick first step. They both are pretty weak against the run, but they're very, very quick into the backfield. So I'm looking at that Gannon defense, and I'm thinking, okay, well, if we can get a guy lightning quick that can get into the backfield, we can deal with other positions and maybe some faults that he has. Because let's face it, guys, we're not going to find the perfect prospect at 52. There's going to be guys with some warts. So I'm kind of looking at that upside. Like, what can this guy bring to the table? He might be a one-trick pony, but if that one trick is elite, let's go for it. So he's a guy. He had some hamstring issues in college. Jordan Tyson's the other guy that really stands out. He's an elite wide receiver talent out of Arizona State, but he's had about 3 injuries. And typically, generally speaking, guys do not get more healthy once they start playing 17, 18, 19 games, depending on the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's the part of it. If you're dinged up going into the NFL, hard for me to believe you're going to all of a sudden find a fountain of health once you get to the NFL. And like you mentioned, Riggs, it's not even just the players are different; it's the schedule is different. Right. You play so many more games and so many more snaps on it. One guy that I've watched a ton of it. They're on to steal the Duke line. Ohio State's on TV more than Leave It to Beaver, so you've seen them all the time.
Yep.
What are we missing with Caleb Downs, or is it just simply that he plays safety and not corner or linebacker? Because I've watched this guy since he was at Bama and then at Ohio State. He's like the best player on the field whenever he steps onto a field. It's a difficult task when the position, the value of the position is different. Sonny Styles, same way. But man, Caleb Downs has looked like an NFL player since he was a true freshman.
Yeah.
Feels like somebody's going to get an absolute steal wherever he goes later in that top 10, if potentially even after it.
You know what my comp is for him? My comp is Xavier McKinney. It's almost a carbon copy. That's the type of player he is. And the reason sometimes guys like that get slept on is because they don't have an elite trait. So when you watch their highlight film, there are certain guys that stand out. You're watching their highlights. Caleb Downs is just a solid across-the-board player. He's always in the right place at the right time. He's very sure of what he does. He's a great tackler, good ball skills. I don't feel like he has that elite trait that you can really hang your head on, but he's like above average to excellent at everything. So he doesn't have any faults in his game. And sometimes those guys do get slept on. Xavier McKinney was a second-round pick. And he's flourished. He's been great on the Packers the last 2 years. Even last year, look at his stats. His stats were great last year, but anybody that watched him play saw that he was making a true impact during every single game with the Packers. So I feel like Caleb Downs is kind of that same category, that he's not going to wow you with these upside plays, but he's just always going to do the right thing and be in the right place, right time.
Chatting with Rob Reger, our draft go-to guy. Read his stuff, the Cheesehead TV Draft Guide, which is amazing. And at NFL Draft Regs on the X machine as well. All right, Regs, I normally would not give a rat's ass about what happens in Jerry World, but this year's a little different because they're holding that 20th pick that the Packers gave them. I'd rather have Micah Parsons than whoever is drafted at 20. But with the 12th and 20th pick, what do the Cowboys do? Because I'm going to be fascinated if they take one, if not two edge guys to try to make up for Micah Parsons being gone. They're okay, I guess, at that position, but they might need some depth. What's going to happen with those two picks? How will Jerry screw it up?
You know the funny thing with the Dallas Cowboys is, believe it or not, with all of their, I guess, drama that they always have, they are pretty good at drafting. They draft very good players, and they don't do it top 5 or top 10. Michael Parsons was the 11th pick in the draft. Basically, all Zach Martin, CeeDee Lamb, all these guys were not top 10 picks, but they're yet star players. Dak Prescott was like a third round pick, and that's just what they do. Now, 12 and 20 is interesting because they don't have a second round pick. So there was a lot of speculation that they might try to move up. But if you want to move up and give up 12 and 20, like, do you really want to wait until the third round? Like, that player has to hit 100%. Otherwise, you're screwed. I think they're better off just taking a guy at 12, maybe an edge rusher or a corner, and then going back to 20 and taking the reverse. So they definitely need a cornerback. They definitely need an edge rusher. Get them on those rookie deals and see what happens. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the Dallas Cowboys do. But typically, of all Jerry's drama, they're very good at drafting star players.
Yeah, they're good at drafting them. They're just not good at re-signing them. Like they're just brutal at the negotiations. Yeah. They're pretty good at the draft part of it. One guy that goes in Reeves, the mock that you put up here, and he's right in that 50 to 52 range. People might know him and might recognize him from Illinois. And I've heard his name pronounced about 1,900 times. Gabe Jackas. Yeah. My man just produces and has played a bunch of football. And you want to talk about a guy that gets to the quarterback and gets him onto the ground. And 26 sacks over 2 years in the Big Ten is nothing to sneeze at, and he feels like he's going to be right in that wheelhouse.
Yeah, he's about as rock solid as it gets as a player. Now with Jonathan Gannon, and for the people at home, you may not realize that there is going to be a slight adjustment in the base defense. Jeff Hafley ran a 4-3 primarily, and I know that they run nickel and dime and all that stuff, but Jonathan Gannon typically runs a 3-4. So you're looking at maybe a different kind of player. And I think that Jackas is a guy that can fit into basically any scheme. He has a great size. I'd say the one thing that he lacks a little bit is that explosiveness. And that's kind of why I prefer a guy like Mason Thomas ahead of him, because of the explosiveness. But if you're just looking for a solid, rock-solid starter on your team, you cannot go wrong with Jackas. He's about as stout. He's great against the run. He gets into the backfield. He works hard, never takes a play off. And say what you want about Brett Bielema. And I'm not a big fan of him, especially since he left Wisconsin and said he was going to like a big time program at Arkansas. We'll see how that worked out for him. But anyways, he knows how to develop defensive players, and he's a great defensive coach. And those guys, year after year after year, are very well coached, and they typically do really well in the NFL.
All right, Riggs, you're a small school sleeper guy. Anybody from the WIAC, the national champion,
now we're talking.
River Falls,
now, please.
Falcons, perhaps, or anybody on the radar, small schools wise?
Gotta be somebody.
Yeah, man. I mean, we can go to. We mentioned him last week. Trey Lance's brother, Bryce Lance, is a big guy for me. There's a guy to keep your eye on right now that I feel people are really sleeping on. It's a guy by the name of Eli Heidenreich out of Navy.
Navy kid.
He pretty much played, in the backfield. They kind of moved him out a little bit. This guy had the second fastest 3-cone time in the history of the combine. He was putting up like Christian McCaffrey and Eli Heidenreich are like in the same breath as far as lateral quickness is concerned. A lot of teams view him as a potential like Wes Welker, Julian Edelman type guy. Really shifty back and forth. Eli Heidenreich is one guy. And there's another guy from a small school. His name's Charles Demings. And I would really love it if the Packers took him. He's a cornerback out of Stephen F. Austin. He's one of the guys that I profiled for the Cheesehead TV draft guide. And there's really nothing wrong with this guy. He's an elite athlete, has great size. He needs a little bit from a technique standpoint, but I mean, that's kind of what coaches are for, is to coach these guys up and get them ready. So those are the two kind of smaller school sleepers, Demings and Heidenreich, to keep your eye on.
What about one last one. Was at a big school, went to a small school. What do you make of Skylar Bell's NFL candidacy? Because he went from middle of the road wide receiver to dominating at UConn.
Yep. Yeah, he actually made my sleeper list that just dropped. So he's one of those guys, and I also profiled him as well. As I feel like he maybe needed that change of scenery. I don't know if it was a bad quarterback play at Wisconsin, but he never seemed to fit with what they were doing. But he kind of flashed every once in a while. But then at UConn, he had that opportunity. They had a really good quarterback there, Fagano, and he might be an NFL player as well. I like Skylar Bell a lot. I think he'd be a great in the slot. He has really strong hands, and he is another guy that can really shift in and out, and his lateral quickness is way up there as well.
All right. Anybody from Wisconsin get their name called before the end of the weekend?
The namesake might have a chance. Mason Riger's got the best chance, right, Riggs?
Yeah, he'll get drafted. I mean, he's almost he's a distant cousin, I think, before he changed their name.
Vinny Anthony's a really interesting one. I always thought Sunday player, but his testing didn't necessarily bode very well.
I mean, Nolan Rucci was a Wisconsin Badger, and he transferred to Penn State. He'll probably get drafted, and Riley Mahlman is probably going to get drafted as well.
Bruner?
Yeah, he'll be like a backup, maybe a swing tackle type of player.
No, but I mean, a Wisconsin guy.
But he's gonna be back in college next year.
Oh yeah.
So otherwise he would be potentially in that mix. So I'm fascinated as to where they'll end up going. But Riger earlier, probably on day 3 than people anticipate, because you can rush the passer. People are gonna give you a chance. True. And he was he at the Shrine Bowl or Senior Bowl, whichever one it was. He tore up, and people were loving him at the All-Star games.
Yeah, he was at the Senior Bowl, and he did really well in the one-on-ones, and that's something that scouts pay very close attention to, is because a lot of times your scheme can dictate a lot of different things, like actually on the field. But when you're mano-a-mano, when you're at those practices, they look for the cornerbacks guarding the receivers, running routes, and the pass rushers against the offensive line. And you're talking about best on best there, one-on-one, and Mason Riger really dominated that Senior Bowl. So I agree with you, Billy. I feel like probably early round 4, he's going to be a candidate for that.
All right. Riggs, thanks for your input. We will catch up with you again 2 days until we start hearing the chimes of the NFL draft. Our coverage presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Tune in to hear Billy and the voice of the Packers, Wayne Larrivee.
Ooh, cannot wait.
A party. Who's catering, by the way? Do we have that figured out yet?
That's a great question. I believe there's going to be a little bit of Palermo's, and Saturday, Armen's going to be excited to know Billy Schmidt's going to be catering ribs on Saturday.
Let's go. Billy's on the grill.
Excellent. That's fantastic.
Saturday smoker special.
We're going to take a quick break and be back to close up shop with our happy place, hemp.com. In the day after 420, we'll have our wake and bake story for you. You're listening to The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. So yesterday was 420, and we celebrated appropriately with a great deal from happyplacehemp.com. But there's a great deal all the time at happyplacehemp.com. Use the code HUDDLE for 25% off and free shipping. Now, if you listened yesterday and took advantage of the deal, as I did, 42% off. I already got an email saying my order is shipped. That's how fast these guys are. Drift Seltzer, Drift Gummies, all the products are fabulous. Check out happyplacehemp.com, the best in class. Rob and Chris work out of Muskego. You can go use the code in the store or online, HUDDLE, 25% off. And if you do it online, free shipping. Billy, what's the wake and bake story of the day?
Well, this one actually came as our friend Dave Gasper sent us this from WCB Waukesha, which is just the public safety and community awareness page. Lets you know what's happening around the town and around the city. Well, 7:31 last night on Lincoln Avenue in West Dallas. This man was cited for indecent, disorderly, and unknown conduct. Officer reporting, Drew, at 7:36, a nude man dancing on a pole at the intersection.
Oh, boy.
One officer sadly had to deploy a taser to the young man. Does not say where that was connected. But the nude man dancing on the pole yesterday. Now, I don't know if he was celebrating using promo code HUDDLE.
Right.
And he just didn't know how to contain his emotions and excitement, realizing that he had just gotten 42% off and free shipping. But apparently, that's one way you couldn't have celebrated yesterday. The only way, not the only way, one of the only ways that you were going to get in trouble celebrating the incredible deal by our friends Rob and Chris, dancing naked at an intersection on a pole. That'll do it. That'll get you tased.
Just another night in West Dallas, and I used to live there. I used to live in West Dallas, so I know. You know what I mean?
Were you ever dancing nakedly on a pole at 7:31 at night?
No, not nakedly. I might have been dancing in the streets or at some point after a bar or something like that, but I never was naked. So I'll say that for sure. But and let me say something.
You're pretty certain about that.
If I'm naked dancing on a pole, I'm definitely not putting myself in a situation to get tased. I feel like that's extra painful because that could tase the wrong areas. You don't want to get hit by that taser in the wrong spot. You get what I'm saying? So
I watched The Hangover.
This guy's his risk taking right there, man.
I watched The Hangover. Oh, right in the nuts.
Right in there. Yeah. Brutal.
Classic.
Brutal.
No.
But he learned his lesson. I bet that.
Do you think the guy went down like Zach Galifianakis, where maybe they just had to walk up next to him and go, some of these big old boys, you got to give a little second jolt to.
Maybe, but I think we'll have to go back to a happy place to get some pain relief there.
Well, he's going to get 25% off now. Hopefully you enjoyed the massive deal that you got before, because it is a different deal that you're getting here today. 25% off and free shipping. Still a hell of a deal by our friends at happyplacehemp.com using promo code HUDDLE.
Absolutely. Armen, congratulations on Ring Out Ahoya getting a player from Marquette High School.
Yeah, it's nice to get a hometown guy back home. The St. Thomas transfer, Nolan. So it's good to see. Both the Badgers and Marquette were jumping in the portal this week.
And way to have a clean hour here on the way out.
Yeah, it did feel good. It's how you finish.
Portal closes at midnight tonight, I think.
Badgers have done some robust work. Miami of Ohio they basically got their whole starting five, and one of them back out of the transfer portal in Austin Rapp. We like that deal.
Outstanding. Tomorrow will be another day close to the draft. It'll be hot take hump day. We'll be humping hot takes all day, and we'll talk to El Jefe John Greenberg, and I believe the playoffs open tomorrow for the Admirals, if I'm not mistaken.
Better believe it, in Manitoba.
Thanks for hanging out in the huddle. We'll see you tomorrow at 5.
Peace.